Thundering Herd, presented by the Mesrano Law Firm. Hello, everybody. I'm James Red, joined by a 40-year veteran of high school football, Rick Cleveland. Rick, thanks for joining us and being here this whole season. This is an exciting year for high school football.
Well, there's no doubt about that, James, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be here. We have probably on this field tonight all 15 weeks of high
Interesting.
Well, there's no question about it. The things that have got to be done for Ramsey to win the game is Ramsey the Rams. Ronnie Jackson and his team have got to slow down the game. They got to make it a very slow-paced game where they keep those Parker athletes off the field. Second of all, because speed kills, they got to pound the rock. They got to run the football, and keep running the football. And those are the things that Parker's got to do as well.
6A Power and a 5A state champion and state finalist, A.H. Parker. Ramsey Rams, they'll take center stage here at Legion Field. Stay tuned. Friday Night Rivals coming up next.
They can't stop what they can't hold. Can't rock what they can't go. Can't top what just can't block. 'Cause I know the things they
Firm. Hello, everybody. I'm James Red, joined by a 40-year veteran of high school football. Hello, everybody. I'm James Red.
can't stop what they can't hold. Can't rock what they can't go. Can't top what just can't block. 'Cause I know.
lost a guy about a month ago, and then we lost someone else about a week and a half ago. And they just put a job posting up, so we're probably not going to have him for a while. But I mean, Colby works mornings, so he's never.
Castle's automatic.
What?
Castle's an automatic.
Yeah, he's just. I just never see him. He's just always there, does his own thing, and I never see him like working. I always see him doing extra random stuff in the office he doesn't get paid to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm night side, so by the time I'm back in the office, like getting ready for the show, he's off his shifts and still there.
Copy that. Okay. Vinny needs to, I can't say Vinny needs to buy a big steak dinner at the end of the year. I'm going to say on there, Vinny needs to buy a big steak dinner at the end of the year. Yeah, she's already called me. Yeah, she called me 2 days ago. I know it was probably in that text too. I wouldn't do that. No. That would probably be awkward. So just so you know, Austin, that mic is hot all the time. So if you talk to me, just tap me and I'll turn and talk to you.
Oh.
That'll go out over there. They're using that mic. They just want me to tell you. They don't usually have it turned up very loud, but they're turning it up very loud. Somebody shaded my camera. That's pretty. China wouldn't even waste a rocket on this place. Hey, out here the pass is very young. Hey, look, I'm not doing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the official kickoff of the Alabama High School Athletic Association football season. Here at Legion Field, tonight's game is the Ramsey Rams, who are the visitors, and your very own A.H. Parker Thundering Herd, the home team. And this time, we'll present the
Put you on
colors
the field to do
of the
your
ROTC
thing,
from
so we
A.H.
can hold
Parker
the
High
game.
School, along with the Parker High School
They'll
band.
know if you're on the field to hold them. Don't let them kick.
When?
When you're doing your stand-up thing for the booth,
Yeah.
I'll hold the game. Because I'm red hatting too. So we're going to stand out on the field.
Okay.
Hey, Doc.
Man, what you been up to?
Good, you?
Good to see you, man.
You
How
too.
big things going?
Good.
Good.
Hardest working man right there.
Orthopedic surgeon. I saw him when
Please stand for our national anthem.
he's non-surgical. He's non-surgical orthopedics.
Bird, get ready to roll. Bird family save the date for the Parker High School 125th anniversary, May 8th through 11th. Make your plans now, all alumni and friends to attend.
I stretch a little bit, getting old. Austin. I'll put you out here, Austin.
Still looking for that roster for the Ramsey Rams football team.
5 minutes to air.
I was going to say that I spoke with both coaches, Jackson and Warren, that they're fired up, their guys are fired up, and it should be a good matchup between. So, sounds good. Will do.
He got a commit to Miami too.
Yeah.
Merritt, he plays in the secondary for me.
All right, we got some captains coming out. And our coin toss is Shops of Grand River Coin Toss. And our kickoff is Wingstop. Okay, no problem. If you read the reader for Wingstop, it says kick off your next career, so that's what we're doing.
All right, the one that is, you can't see his jersey. That's the kid.
Naeem Offer, that's the one going to Ohio State. Now he'll also play running back.
And then 0 is Crawford kid. He's a heck of a player. That's two defensive players. And number, is that 4 or 14?
Let me see.
And
That's number 4.
so, do you want me
As
to
the captains
just stop
prepare
talking or say back to
take
you?
the
Or,
That's
coin
Jelks
toss,
right here.
Captains of the Department 33rd, number 0, Jordan Crawford.
okay, I'll just say back to
Number
y'all.
4, Jeremiah.
Now, once the game gets out of hand, I'm going to have some fun with these big guys wearing single digits. I think I have a formal protest with that because big guys are like, I want 0. Well, little guy like, I want 0.
Yeah,
Who's going to win that fight?
yeah. You're talking to an O-line guy here, so I'm on their team, so you just remember that. I'm telling you.
But you don't see any old linemen going
No,
with
you don't.
3.
No, they're going to wear 50 plus. Or they ain't going to play. I mean,
Right.
it's just that's.
Oh, goodness.
You can choose your number if it's below 50, and if you're a specialty player or running back or receiver,
Right.
if you're a lineman, you're 50 plus.
Correct. The linemen are left out
That's
of the
right.
equation.
That's exactly right. They don't get to make that choice. Okay, for
That's the quarterback.
Ramsey, that is
For
that's Cameron. Is that Cameron Keenan, quarterback?
Yep,
number
Cameron
4?
Keenan.
Yeah.
He's the old man of the group.
Yeah.
And number 25.
All right, that's going to be Markel.
great evening for football here in the Magic City. The 97th year Legion Field opens its doors. The Old Gray Lady hosting Drummond Company Friday night rivals as the Ramsey Rams take on the A.H. Parker Thundering Herd, presented by the Mesrano Law Firm. Hello, everybody. I'm James Red, joined by a 40-year veteran of high school football, Rick Cleveland. Rick, thanks for joining us and being here this whole season. This is an exciting year for high school football.
Well, there's no doubt about that, James, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be here. We have probably on this field tonight, all 15 weeks of high school football, we've got as many talented football players as anybody will ever see on a high school football game right here tonight in the Old Gray Lady Legion Field.
No doubt about it. As we take a look at our ABC 3340 keys to the game, Rick, this should be an interesting game where speed will be a premium.
Well, there's no question about it. When you look at Parker, the things that have got to be done for Ramsey to win the game is Ramsey the Rams. Ronnie Jackson and his team have got to slow down the game. They got to make it a very slow-paced game where they keep those Parker athletes off the field. Second of all, because speed kills, they got to pound the rock. They got to run the football, and keep running the football. And those are the things that Parker's got to do as well.
6A power and a 5A state champion and state finalist, A.H. Parker. Ramsey Rams, they'll take center stage here at Legion Field. Stay tuned. Friday Night Rivals coming up next.
They can't stop what they can't hold. Can't rock where they can't go. Can't top what just can't.
Welcome back to Drummond Friday Night Rivals, presented by Mesrano Law Firm. Let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team, Austin Pratt, our sideline reporter, with an update on the coaches. Austin?
Yeah, that's right. I actually spoke to both coaches before the game here today. Both of them fired up, looking for the game, forward to the game ahead of them. Their players fired up. A lot of energy out here on the field today. You can see it, you can feel it. It just means more playing here in Legion Field. All the crowd is out here looking forward to the game. In store, Parker, Ramsey. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Back to you guys in the booth.
Earlier tonight, the shops of Grand River coin toss. Make sure you save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center, and it was Ramsey who won the toss. They have decided to defer, which means that it will be the Parker Thundering Herd who will be on offense first. They will receive, and it will be the kickoff. And time now for our shops of Grand River kickoff. And it will be the Rams of Ramsey kicking. To the Parker Thundering Herd. 2024 football season is ready to get underway. Kajon Greg Lamb is back deep, and they will kick this one on the ground, but he'll take it at his own 20 and slip, but falls right at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Thundering Herd will take over.
Well, when you look at that kickoff, that's kind of a skimmer, and I think it's a pretty smart move by Ramsey. Ronnie Jackson's not going to kick that ball deep.
return
They
for Parker.
get a halfway decent return.
And the quarterback for the Thundering Herd, Dylan Reese, he's just a junior. And this young man transferred in from Pinson Valley and has done a great job in the spring, but they're expecting to see him do great things in the fall.
Yeah, and he's the one that makes the offense go. They got two really good running backs back there in Terrence Gaines and Chancellor Sparks. But where they're really good is out there at the wide receiver spot. So we're going to see a lot of Jelks and Kentrell Davis and those guys. So just expect the ball to be in the air, and you're going to see a lot of action from Dylan Reese. He is some kind of football player.
They'll start from their own 30-yard line. Our first play from scrimmage here in the 2024 season, and now they're making a shift with their wide receivers. And now they'll go three on the far side with one back in the backfield, that being Gaines with Parker. Handing it off to Terrence Gaines, and he breaks one tackle and falls forward for about a 3-yard gain. And this 5'11", 200-pound senior, our People's Bank of Alabama starting lineup. Remember, People's Bank of Alabama, we care about people.
Well, when you look at this right here, you got Dylan Reese at quarterback, Cameron Scarver over at left tackle, Patrick Gates at left guard, Caleb Johnson at center, Kendarius Blair at right guard, Demetrius Terrell at right tackle, Kentrell Davis at one wide receiver, and we'll get to others after this next play.
Second down and about 7 yards. First pass by Reese, reception made by Clarence Taylor, and Taylor is close to a first down, goes out of bounds. Pushed out of bounds there by Terrence Atkins, and our Peoples of Alabama defense for the Ramsey Rams.
Murphy Adams and Chase Holt at defensive ends, Reese and Reynolds at the tackles, Patterson, Colley, and Brundage over to linebackers, Williams, Atkins, Thomas, and Tall in the secondary. And that's the young secondary of Ramsey. Expect Parker to try to exploit that young secondary.
Third down and short now for the Thundering Herd. Fake it, and he eludes one defender, but can't elude the others, and goes down. He may have gotten close to the line of scrimmage with Jordan Colley and company right there to bring it down.
Well, I'm sure Parker will pump the ball this time. Just a breakdown on the offensive line right there. A lot of penetration from the Ramsey defense. You got to do a better job blocking up front there, and that's it's not going to be good for Parker if they can't maintain any kind of aggression on that offensive line.
Good job there by Jordan Colley, one of those senior linebackers. Coach Jackson thinking that he has some of the best linebackers in Class 5A, and they've been playing well this season. Deuce Alexander back deep for Ramsey, and a good punt by Quindarius Sterling, and it will take a Parker bounce and go out of bounds. And right at the 40-yard line, make it the 41-yard line. Good field position coming back for the Ramsey Rams.
When you look at Ramsey's offense, you got to look at those two big offensive tackles, Lance Johnson and Ryan Reese, and you're going to see Ramsey run behind those two guys a lot. And the quarterback, you see Cameron Keenan right there, 6'4", 215 pounds. He's the guy that makes this offense go.
Won a state championship just a few years ago, made it to the state finals last season. First down right at their own 41-yard line. High snap, Keenan catches it, makes a quick throw, but incomplete, getting a lot of pressure there. And that pass intended for a Shy Rice.
Well, any time that you have a high snap like that from your center.
And this is our People's Bank of Alabama lineup for the Ramsey offense.
Yeah, let's look at that offensive line. You got Johnson at left tackle, Chapman at left guard, Rudolph at center, Foreman at right guard, Reese at right tackle, Keebler at the X, Deuce Alexander at the H, Shy Rice at the Y, or at the Z, Cameron Keenan at quarterback, and Jaden Martin at running back. We'll talk about that X, Y, and H a little later on.
Incomplete pass on first down makes it second down and 10. This time they're going to keep it on the ground. They have some room to run, and a good game there by Jaden Martin. And then he was brought down for a tackle by Talton Thomas. Let's take a look at that defense.
All right, here's Parker's defense. They run multiple fronts. Got Moody at the corner, got Holt at the safety, Posey and Williams, and Thomas at linebacker, Merritt at defensive end, Taylor at defensive tackle, Crawford, Cleveland, defensive tackles as well. Caleb Smith at the end and Alford at cornerback. Alford's an Ohio State guy.
3rd down and 7 now. Looking
Screen.
to pass, screen, and this one just goes over the head of the intended receiver, which was Jaden Martin, and the closest person was offensive lineman Ryan Reese.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, the first play they ran behind Ryan Reese, and let me tell you, when you watch high school football, you watch these offensive linemen because those are the guys that make the offense go. Started with the center on the first play, had a bad snap. All the timing was off. They get nothing on it. So you're in 2nd and 10, and your play caller is behind the chains already.
Matthew Keebler will do the punting for Ramsey. Back deep, Clarence Taylor for the Thundering Herd. And this is a pooch punt, and it will not take a good bounce. And wow, great job by Parker picking it up.
He's taken down inside.
And it was one of the defenders able to be a good job of Johnny on the spot. Tolton Thomas, normally the weak side linebacker, and he does a great job.
Yeah, you look right here, you get a really bad punt. It goes back towards him, really negative kick. Dalton Thomas picks that ball up and he stumbles. Had he not stumbled, he might have scored. That's a big play by Dalton Thomas to pick that ball up.
Great job by the senior linebacker for A.H. Parker. Now the offense has dynamic field position into Ram territory right outside the 30-yard line.
There's an example of the kicking game not being sufficient enough to do its job.
With 3 wide receivers on the near side, Reese with some time, throws and incomplete. Pass intended for Contrell Davis, star junior wide receiver.
And then Davis was wide open just on a little slot route. And boy, that pass, that would have been on the money. If Reese would have hit him on the run, he'd have walked into the end zone. So that's one of those that's kind of like in golf. You know, you hit a bad shot, you got a high score.
Yes,
So
no doubt.
we got a bad shot coming right there from Reese. And he's a good athlete. He'll make up for that down the road.
Now 2nd down and 10. Keeping it on the ground, finding some room to run, slides, but not before he gets a bullet roofing. The proof is in there. Our roof, 1st down for the Thundering Herd. Good carry there by Chancellor Sparks.
Well, Chancellor did a great job right there, seeing the hole. See, he was deep enough that he could cut it back right across the center's face. Picked up enough, to make a 3rd down play.
3rd and 4 from Thundering Herd.
Now 1st down and 10. Check that, 3rd down. Nice spin move, but doesn't go anywhere. That Rams defense, rather physical and fast, and holds up Sparks before he can really get any yardage, so it'll be 4th down.
Well, and there's no doubt you're going to see Coach Warren's going to go for this. I mean, you're 4th and about 3. This is where you count on your guy that runs downhill, and you got to get the ball in his hands. And you're probably going to run over here behind this right side because that seems to be the place where they feel like they can have an advantage on that defense.
Gaines is in at running back for the Thundering Herd. 4th down, and they need to get to the 20-yard line for a first. Faking it, Reese has some time. He uses his legs, and he gets to the 1st down and more inside the red zone and into the end zone. Touchdown, Thundering Herd. And they're on the board first.
That's a great job by Demetrius Terrell and Kendris Blair over there on that right side.
Peoples of Alabama touchdown for the Thundering Herd. Remember, People's Bank of Alabama, we care about people.
Yeah, you see the block right there. Boy, he does a great job cutting back against the grain, then gets his shoulder square to the goal line and walks in there. That's a great read right there by Dylan Reese.
You the one that working, bro.
And we're on for our point after attempt. A good job there by Reese. And the offense taking advantage of the pooch kick that went awry and a good return. Sterling for the point after attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. 7:28 here in the opening quarter. And the Thundering Herd using special teams, but a good run by their quarterback, able to get into the end zone. 7-0. Drummond Company Friday Night Rivals presented by Mesrano Law Firm. Stay tuned. More coming up.
let it hook to me, dog. Now picture me fall to the waist.
Tops of Grand River save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center. And that will go out of the end zone for a touchback. Let's take another look at the return and then the touchdown.
Yeah, that's a great job by Thomas to pick that ball up right there, free ball. If he doesn't stumble, he scores, but he gets the ball down inside the 20-yard line, and it's pretty easy from there when Dylan Reese runs the ball into the end zone right here. Tell you what, you don't see it, but there's a great block over there on that right side. That right tackle just did a tremendous job cleaning that whole hole out. You saw you could drive a car through it over there.
A small car, a large car.
It could have been a big 350, whatever those things are, but it was a huge hole.
So now Ramsey's offense working from their own 20-yard line. Keenan throws and almost intercepted in and out of the arms of Joseph Holt playing that strong safety position.
Now, let me tell you something. You're not going to see many secondaries as good as this secondary at Parker High School. You can go all over the country here. You see Holt breaking in front of that out route. And stay on your feet, though, young outside people. Stay on your feet and run that ball into the end zone. Don't go diving for it. Just catch it.
And just for fans at home, me and Rick went down on the field to check those heights. Average size of the starting defensive back, 6'2", 6'3", 6'2", 6'2".
Second and 10, Ramsey.
Yes, and they are in high school.
Yeah, and they can play.
Keenan's going to keep it, go nowhere fast, and he's quickly wrapped up and brought down by Dorian Williams, the junior middle linebacker.
1 yard gain.
Well, that's just a load play where the quarterback fakes the dive over right tackle and then just follows right in that hole, and hopefully the linebacker will tackle that running back. And he did get a little seam, but he wasn't able to make any yardage. That's a good read right there by Cameron Keenan.
Third down and long.
They're moving. Yeah.
And they've got movement across that offensive front. And that'll push him back. And for head coach Ronnie Jackson, this is sort of like a new staff because he lost so many guys off his staff, but he was able to retain his offensive line and defensive line coaches. But this is really a new staff that his players are trying to get used to.
Yeah, and you talk about the offensive line. Cedric Blair's former head coach at Parker and probably one of the finest offensive line coaches in the state and a great guy with wisdom for Coach Jackson.
Third and long. Oh, flare pass out to Jaden Martin. Martin uses some speed, but more speed by the Thundering Herd, able to corral him well short of the first down.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to gain much yardage trying to throw the ball in the flat against this Parker secondary. Their linebackers are out in the flat coverage. and the corners come flying up like that. That's tough. Best thing you can do on that is hope you can get something downfield when that corner comes up like that.
And that tackle was made by Robert Taylor, who's 6'1", just a sophomore. He's been playing since his freshman year.
James, I really think this is going to be one of the differences in the game is the kicking game. We saw it on the opening kickoff. Now we're going to be punting from inside the 5-yard line. You look at what kind of field position Parker's going to get on this return.
Keebler to punt from his own 2. Doesn't have any pressure, kicks it high but short. And a fair catch is called.
Yeah.
And that was Naeem Alford, but a flag because they did touch him after the fair catch, so they'll get some additional yards there.
Yeah, he sure didn't give him enough room to catch that ball, and he was waving for a fair catch, and that's one of the rules that you gotta adhere to. You can't be close to that guy trying to catch the ball. You got to give him room to catch it. And Alford didn't have nearly enough room to catch the ball.
Dylan Reese did a good job for Pinson Valley last season. Looking for a better opportunity, found his way over to A.H. Parker.
Interference with the catch is called against Ramsey.
Let's see, we may have an official call here. Let's see what the official call will be on the flag.
I think it's interference with the catch. So that's going to be I think it may be a 15-yard penalty anytime you interfere with that catch. Going to put it inside the 20.
Thompson's on ESPN.
Wow.
Yeah, Thompson's on ESPN.
19-yard line.
Ramsey penalized
You can't
15
give a football
yards.
team, any high school football
catch
team,
interference
the ball
on
on
the
the plus
Parker takes
19-yard
over
line
first and 10
and expect your
24
defense
yard
to
line.
hold them. That's just tough. That's tough.
And they do stay outside, and we're right close to that Windows World Red Zone. When was the last time you updated your Windows? A world of possibilities and options are ready for you. Windows World has a variety of
Let's
options
go, Herb.
available.
Let's
Call us at
go.
205-916-2189 or visit us online at windowsworldalabama.com, all one word, for more information. Right outside that red zone at the 24. Another handoff to Gaines. Nope, pass into that red zone, and now 1st and goal. Clarence Taylor gets the first down, a bullet-roofing
Dylan Reese
first
pass
down
complete.
for the Thundering Herd.
Well, they brought a
Inside
wide
the
receiver in
5-yard
motion.
line.
Then they
Flag on
faked
the
the
play.
dive, and there goes Taylor across the middle on a skinny post. Perfect throw right there. Very well executed. That's just tough to stop. You got linebackers that aren't dropping because they're stopping in there and trying to honor the fake. That's a killer.
But there was a flag on the play that negates the reception by Taylor. They had an illegal man downfield, which pushes them all the way back to about the 24. Oh, and they'll go back even further, down to about the 31-yard line. 10-yard loss.
Penalized 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. It remains first down.
Yeah, that's an offensive lineman's nightmare. An offensive lineman's not ever supposed to be downfield on. And that may be a run-pass option. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think it was already a predetermined throw.
Ball placed at the 29-yard line.
So from the 29 of Ramsey, Parker now going with a little dipsy-do shuttle pass over to Quates. Quates gets out of bounds, and he's slung out of bounds, gets those negative yards back.
Number 2, Jacoby Quates.
And good tackle there
for
made by
3-yard
Marlon
gain.
Tall.
It's what we call an inside
Second
reverse.
down
You got
and
that wide
7
receiver
Thundering
coming
Herd.
underneath the quarterback, and he just tosses it forward to him. And Quates can run. There's no question about it. He's a junior and 5'11", 170, and he almost made the corner. Had he made that corner one more step, it was 6 points for the Thundering Herd.
Now 2nd down and 7 yards, make it 8 yards to go for Parker High. Looking to add on to their 7-0 lead. Jelks in motion. Once again, they're going to try it on the run game. Goes nowhere fast.
To Terrence Gaines.
Gaines on the carry, but he was not
No
able to
gain
get
on the
to the
play.
line of scrimmage. Good pressure there by the defense.
Well, you look in the middle right there, you got James
That's second
Reynolds
ball
and
of 3
Corey
yards.
Williamson, and they do a great
It's
job
3rd and 10.
plugging that middle, and that's huge. where they got to attack is that secondary. I think Parker's best chance is attacking this young secondary.
Going with 3 wide receivers on the far side of the Thundering
Let's go,
Herd.
Herd. Let's go.
Now moving Jelks in motion to the near side. Reese getting some pressure, eludes one defender. He's going to throw it, and catch almost made and incomplete. Pass intended for Clarence Taylor, and this time Clarence Taylor is the Blues Whaler, feeling the Blues on that incomplete reception.
Well, and Taylor did a great job coming back for the ball. Got it in his hands and just absolutely dropped it. Great job right here by Reese. He rolls right and then comes back, makes a really good throw. Taylor comes back. Man,
You got to have that.
Yeah,
you got to have that. Coach, now I know when you were coaching at Fairhope, you most likely told a bunch of players to take off those gloves.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you, gloves that's a big deal to these kids today, and they really are an advantage to them if they use them right.
No doubt. 4th down, looks like they're going to go for it, 4th and 10. Reese with time and incomplete. They'll turn it over on downs. Intended for Contrell Davis.
He's got a flag.
But there is a flag.
I think it's holding. I think they're going to get Parker for holding. They'll decline that. Yeah. And there's a breakdown by the offensive line at Parker. Great job by that defense of Ramsey to put pressure. And when Reese is on the run, boy, I'm telling you, that missed catch down there by Taylor is going to come back to. I wish they had that one back. I can tell you that. So Ramsey takes over. Now Ramsey's got to slow this game down. They got to work on making first downs, running behind those big linemen over there, and just slow this game down. Don't get in a speedy game with this Parker Thundering Herd.
1st and 10 now, trying to go with an inside run, able to get a few yards.
Gain of 1 yard.
Is Ladarian Berry. And it's Salvatore's
2nd and 9
pizza
for
break.
Ramsey.
Always a good time for a pizza break. I know they got some fans right now at home that are just coming home with that fresh, hot Salvatore's pizza. And mentioned Friday Night Rivals at Salvatore's Pizza and Pasta, and you can get an extra 20% off your order. Remember, Salvatore's Pizza and Pasta, right there off of a number of locations. One right there off of 280.
Yeah, Parker's jumped off sides now. We got a
Ball now at the 30.
defensive end jumps off sides, moves the ball up 5 yards, and so that's makeable. 2nd and 3. Ramsey smart, just keep the ball on the ground. Run behind those 2 big offensive tackles.
Keenan now going to try to keep it on the ground. Good job there by Martin. And he's still short of the 1st down to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, Jaden Martin that time trying to just continue to run toward the sidelines. You got to get those shoulders square to the goal line. As you see him here, he just keeps running east and west. Now get upfield. Yeah, it's tough to when you got that big old linebacker out there, though. That's a good tackle.
And this will bring up 3rd down and 3. Jeremiah Hall on the tackle. He's made a couple of plays, getting a couple of assists. That was a good solo tackle there by Hall.
Okay.
And we do have a timeout called. And Addiction Prevention Coalition timeout. We'll take one with them. We come back. We'll see if Ramsey can continue this drive. You're watching Friday Night Rivals. Stay tuned. our annual favorite here at Friday Night Rivals, Smile Cam, the Children's of Alabama Smile Cam. Children's of Alabama, we are here for every child. And this fan right here, I think she's doing more eating of her sunflower seeds rather than smiling right now. That's okay. And the Ramsey Rams are trailing 7-0 as some people are trying to get dutied up for a halftime show, which will entertain all. There you go. And our Children's of Alabama Smile Cam.
Leading the charge and making sure
Let's see here if Coach Jackson doesn't decide to go an unbalanced look and put Reese and Johnson side by side and run behind them over there.
Third down and 3 after the timeout by Ramsey, and Keenan with a nice pass out but incomplete, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Daniel Razor.
I'm going to tell you, when you try to throw on that secondary, you're looking at people coming up making a big play right there. And Quincy Crawford came up, made a heck of a play there, trying to throw a little bootleg action.
Mm-hmm.
Crawford just comes up and does a great job.
Keebler again, this will be his third punt of the evening.
Ramsey needs this punt to be a lot deeper than what the first two have been. A little better punt.
And they're going to let it bounce. It's going to take a Ramsey bounce. And it's going to keep on bouncing.
And that's a win. That's a win for the kicking game now. They got Parker backed up inside the 30, and that's big for Ramsey.
Alabama 811, call before you dig. And that's always important. You got power lines, water lines, gas lines, but make sure you call 811, call before you dig.
You know, when you look at what Coach Warren and his offensive coordinator are thinking about now, and that's Connor McGavin, we might want to see if we can challenge this secondary. Maybe send something deep, see if we can hit something deep, or maybe throw something underneath. Let's see what they got in mind here.
And they're on 27 on the Parker Thundering Herd, and they're going to keep it on the ground, get beyond the line of scrimmage. May have gotten about 4 or 5 before eventually Jordan Colley was able to bring him down amongst others, but a good run there by Terrence Gaines.
Yeah, Terrence Gaines is that young man who's got a lot of speed, and then they put Chancellor Sparks in. He's kind of the bulldog guy. He's a he's a guy that gets a slasher. But we'll see what happens here. I still think that what Parker's got to do is attack that secondary with these speedy receivers.
Second down and 5. Long pass across the field. Reception made by Quates. And Quates looks like he has enough for the first down. Jacoby Quates, the junior.
Well, they got in the stack over here, and I want you to watch this block by the up receiver. He kind of clears it out for Quates. That's a good job blocking right there. He got a face mask, but Quates did a great job. But the one that really makes that play is Kentrell Davis making the block on that outside guy and give him the lane to run in. Good hitch route there.
Third down and 1. They're going to keep it on the ground, and this time a good open field tackle, and great way to make a play. Some people call that the old Oklahoma drill on that tackle, but a good play there by Marquell Patterson, and he gets up, may have gotten a stinger for that one.
Yeah, and Marquell Patterson, Marquell is the guy that makes this defense go. That's a great play right there on 3rd and 1, and he.
End of quarter number 1 here at Legion Field. We've seen some hard hits, some good plays, and 1 touchdown so far by the Thundering Herd, 7-0. You're watching Drummond Company Friday Night Rivals, presented by Mesrano Law Firm. Stay tuned, second quarter coming up.
Taking everything that is
Drummond Company Friday Night Rivals presented by Ms. Reno Law Firm, and Parker up 7-0. You saw Ronnie Jackson, the head coach for Ramsey. He's been a part of that group since they have had the resurgence, the rebirth of Ramsey
Flag on the play.
football way back in about 2014 or 12. Let's take a look at our first quarter statistics, and it looks like it's heavily in favor of Parker.
Yeah, no doubt offensively, Ramsey hadn't been able to get anything going. Just no rushing yardage, 6, passing yardage -3. So total offensive yards, 3 yards for Ramsey, 49 for Parker. And that's a lot less than what I thought I would see from Parker with this young defense of Ramsey. Well, that's another interference on the fair catch. So Parker did not give Ramsey
Ball taken all the way to the
a clear chance to catch the ball on the punt, so they're penalized 15 yards. Gives a great break to Ramsey.
So now the Rams have their best field position of the evening into Parker territory at the 45-yard line. High snap goes way away. Jaden Martin does a good job of falling on top of it, but just like that, that punt and the penalty, all of those yards now go back in favor of Parker.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Let's see. Boy, the quarterback wasn't even looking.
The center, Austin, I think just snatched that one, hiked that one a little bit too early.
Well, that's a great teaching point from Jaden Martin. Get on the football. Don't try to pick it up and run. Just cover the football, cover your loss, and try to make it up.
Devon Rudolph on that snap. And now Keenan throws it and looks like it could have been picked off, but incomplete. And the closest person there was a Parker Thundering Herd player.
Well, that was a quick slant. It was intended for Deuce Alexander. Alexander's also the kickoff guy, return guy, and returns punts, but well, that wasn't anywhere close to him.
Quincy Crawford, the cornerback, was the closest person to him.
And it was a great route. I mean, he was in between the linebacker and the corner, just couldn't deliver.
Third down, and we'll call it a half a block. And that one is batted down. Great job by Caleb Smith. And you know what? He should be able to bat stuff down because he's a senior and he's 6'6".
He's a big kid. You look at him, and boy, he's got some length on him. And that time, what Cameron tried to do, he looked right exactly where he was going to throw the football. Didn't look off at anybody else. And you look up, and there he is to block it. And that's just a big-time play by that big man. And he is a big, big kid. Caleb Smith, 6'6", 238 pounds, a senior. I tell you, he's tough to throw over, James. That's a mountain of a man.
Somebody's going to come calling on him
That's
for
right.
sure. Just if you stand next to Coach. And another punt by Keebler.
Punt fielded by Offer. Flag on the play.
And there is a flag offered. Gets his first opportunity to touch the ball, but really goes nowhere. But there was a flag. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll find out what the flag is and see if Parker can build upon their 7-0 lead. You're watching Friday Night Rivals. Stay tuned.
Can't stop what they can't hold. Can't rock where they can't go. Can't top what just can't block, cause I know the things they can't know. But listen, we're in my position.
Approaching 100 years, the old Gray Lady, Legion Fields, and there are a number of Parker fans who have made their way here to this great old stadium. And they have a large number from Ramsey. I think we're approaching over 10,000 fans here at least, and the number is increasing as Parker starts the second quarter with a run.
Tried to run right over right tackle right there, and it's just a lead's all it is, but you don't have a fullback leading with this one-back offense, and that's one that I don't have on my depth chart right there. I know Ryan Reese made a heck of a play. He is a big-time player. You see, when you get in games like this, the big-time players make the big plays, and Ryan Reese is one of those guys for Ramsey.
6'2", 265, and he lives up to that name, big-time player. Reese with the throw. Spin and tackle made. Good tackle there, that Marcus Montgomery.
Just a little out route right there, and good throw by Reese. And it's a really good route right there. When you look at these routes, they're not difficult to cover. They're just giving them they're giving them so much room to gain because they respect the receivers, and that's smart. So they'll give them that 5-yard out.
Third down and 1, keeping it on the ground, turning up some yards and some clock. Good job there by Terrence Gaines. And could we call that a ACT coach's call, Coach? That was a good call, good play call there, Coach?
Well, it was, because they had motion going one way. They run the running back on the weak side over here. And, boy, they had linebackers going with the motion. Quarterback makes a great read, gives it right back to the running back going back in that hole over on the left tackle slot. It was there.
And that's a good ACT Equipment coach's call. ACT Equipment is the premier dealer for parts, services, and sales of new and used equipment locally operated and owned. We serve Central Alabama, and we will provide free pickup and delivery for all equipment sales and services within a 30-mile radius of, and they're located in Aniana. Act now, 205-379-8292, or visit actequipment.net for more details.
Chancellor Sparks that time over right tackle, picked up just about a yard. Great defensive play over there on that side by defensive end Chase Holt.
Driving now is the Thundering Herd as they pound the ground to try to increase their 7-point lead. Reese now getting a blitz. They pick it up, long throw, and incomplete. Little extra on the tail end, touching Kentrell Davis, knocking him down, but that was even too far for the 6'4" wide receiver.
Well, Connor McGavin called that play, and he wants to spread the field a little bit, and you saw him there going a little vertical route right down the field, and I tell you, that's close. It wasn't any interference. I mean, it was just overthrown. You were exactly right, James. But he had him open. He just overthrew it.
I think only Randy Moss would have caught that.
That would have been a big catch. That would have been a big catch by Randy Moss, that's for sure. 3rd and 11. Let's see what happens. They're going to get timeout.
And now it looks like we have a timeout called by Ramsey.
Well, what happened there was they had a mix-up in their secondary, and they had a man wide open over in the slot. Coach Jackson saw it. He called timeout immediately. That's a good call by Ronnie.
And that is our Addiction Prevention Coalition timeout. Would you know how to save a life? Addiction Prevention Coalition.
And that's a great job. You know, when you got head coaches who recognize both sides of the ball where there is a mistake being made on alignment, and that's what a head coach really, I mean, he strives to make sure that we got everybody aligned. And Ronnie Jackson did a great job right there, because Parker was fixing to score a touchdown because they had a wide open receiver in the slot, and he was just going to run straight down the field. And it wasn't going to be very hard for Dylan Reese to hit him. So good job by Ronnie Jackson to see that. You know, people think that may be a wasted timeout, but it's not.
And another Addiction Prevention Coalition. Would you know how to save a life? So 3rd down and 11. Hopefully now Ramsey has their defense figured out as they're trying to keep Parker out of the end zone. Season opener here between these two Birmingham power football teams. Dylan Reese in the shotgun all by himself in the backfield. Throw and reception made. And finally able to get out of bounds. And he maybe have enough for the first down depending on where the spot is. And that was Jacoby Quates on the reception.
Yeah, that's a first down. They ran a deep out over there. Jacoby did a great job. He ran the route long enough to cover the first down. And that's what you have to do as a receiver. On third down, you've got to cover the distance to make a first down. You can't count on yards after catch. You got to run the route and let the quarterback deliver it, and that's what happened there.
1st and 10, Reese again, now finds Quates again, and Quates this time quickly wrapped up and brought down initially on the tackle, Alandis Thomas, able to make that play.
Little hitch route over here to the sideline, to the Parker sideline. Get the ball in Quates' hands and let him make stuff happen, and that's exactly what seems like that's what Connor McGavin's trying to do now with this football team.
Now 2nd down and 5, but we've got a stoppage of play.
Ramsey's calling another timeout, James.
And it's another Addiction Prevention Coalition timeout. Reminder, would you know how to save a life? And we'll take a break. We come back. We'll see if Parker's offense continues to churn it toward the end zone. Stay tuned. Friday Night Rival continues after the break. Halfway through the 2nd quarter, and Parker driving after another Ramsey timeout, 2nd and 5, but it looks like they're still trying to get their defensive backfield aligned correctly, keeping it on the ground, but a good job of making a tackle is James Reynolds. Check that. That was Ryan Reese again on the play.
Yeah, Ryan Reese does a good job penetrating. And let me say this, too. They're sending those linebackers, and if Parker throws that one back out of the backfield into the flat, he's going to walk into the end zone because they don't have anybody covered. So especially over here to this one receiver side, you know, and what Ramsey's doing is now is trying to not give them enough time to throw the football. So that's where we are.
3rd down and 6. Keeping it on the ground is Gaines, and Gaines pushes his way forward enough for the first down, and they'll move the chains.
Well, and there's another case of what they're doing. They're deciding they're going to send linebackers. They're sending those 3 defensive linemen and both of those linebackers. And if you break the line of scrimmage, then you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards, and you got a first down. That's tough. That's tough.
No doubt. Braylon Waiters, just a 9th grader, able to make that tackle. Now they're in the ring zone. Throwing it into the end zone, high and caught, touchdown. Parker, great job once again, and this time it is a People's Bank of Alabama touchdown. Terrence Gaines on the reception.
Well, we talked about just a minute ago about running that back out of the backfield. Linebackers come. Gaines is going to watch him in the middle. Watch him in the middle. Here he comes. Gaines is going to go up and get it right there.
And that's not bad for a 5'11", 200-pound running back able to jump up and make the play, but that is all for naught because holding has been called. So that touchdown has been negated, and they'll move it back.
Yeah, that's offensive lineman nightmare. And your quarterback's running around, scrambling, and you don't want to get beat as an offensive lineman. Put your arms outside. When you put those arms outside, that's exactly what's going to happen.
And I think Coach Frank Warren has to be a little patient with his sophomore offensive line. He's got 2 tackles, 6'4", 270, and that one goes awry. Good play there by Marlon Tall to break that pass up.
Okay, if we watch that again, you're going to see this slant pass is thrown behind the receiver instead of throwing it in front of him. If he throws it in front of him, he may still be running. But that's, you young quarterbacks, you watch this throw. It's going to go behind him. Yeah. And still, Quates, that's a ball that Jacoby Quates can catch. He should have made that catch.
Tall right there to make sure that he didn't catch it.
Yeah, Tall did a great job there coverage.
2nd down and 20 after the penalty that pushed them back 10 yards that negated the touchdown reception by Gaines. Reese with time, now throwing for the end zone again, and a flag will be thrown. And Marcus Montgomery may be called for the pass interference, but he was all alone, so he didn't want to give up a score.
No, and that's, coaches teach that. I mean, if you're beat, and that's why they called a timeout a couple times ago to get somebody else in there. Marcus Montgomery is one of their best defensive backs, and he's beat, so you see him holding him, and that's a good call by the officials. Really good call, and really Marcus did his job, to be honest with you.
And he did try to sell it like, what? What did I do? What did I do? Well, he knows, but that's a good job. That shows that he's a seasoned defender, able to make that play and prevent a touchdown.
And when you talk to the coaches, when you talk to them, they'll tell you right now that Marcus Montgomery is that guy that we want covering those good receivers. And that's, I think he.
And it's another Windows World Red Zone. Window and door installation are 2 areas that sometimes end up more time consuming and costly than intended when you do it yourself. That's frustrating, but we've got you. Call Window World and let the pros help you. Our professionals can help you save money. Call 205-916-2189 or visit us online at windowsworldalabama.com for more information. Our Windows World Red Zone, and right now we've got stoppage of play. Still looking at 2nd down and about 8 yards to go.
Yeah, the referee walked over to say something to Ronnie Jackson. I don't know what he. Something with the spotter on the chain crew, so we'll try to find out what that was about.
It looks like the crew is all Thundering Herd crew.
It's their home game. They furnish the crew.
Run there. Going wide and into the end zone. Touchdown, Peoples of Alabama, touchdown. People's Bank of Alabama, and yes, Chancellor Sparks scores his first touchdown of the night.
Now there's another instance where we're sending our linebackers. Let's watch. Linebackers come. See, coming in here. He gets to the outside. There's no contain. Safety tries to come up and doesn't make the tackle. He slides into the end zone. Well, you take a big chance when you send those linebackers that much.
And our People's Bank of Alabama touchdown. We care about people at People's Bank of Alabama.
And Chancellor Sparks is that running back. They've got 2 good ones in Terrence Gaines and Chancellor Sparks. And Sparks is that guy. He's the one that wants to hit a linebacker in the mouth.
Quindarius Sterling on for the point after attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. Just made it inside that right upright. And with 6:06 left to play, it is 14-0. Let's take another look at that touchdown.
Here we go. Watch Sparks now. He sees those linebackers coming, so he cuts it outside. No contain. Here comes the safety, and he doesn't make the tackle. See, the safety attacked him where he was going to be instead of going where he was. You got to go right at him when you get in that red zone. Come right at him right now. Come to his number. See, right here, you got to come to him. You can't do it. Tough job right there. Good run by Sparks. Great job right there by the offensive line to pick up the linebackers coming. Poor job of tackling right there in the secondary.
And Sparks gets his first touchdown of the season here in the rivalry that they like to call the Stop the Violence Classic. And this is something that was started by both Ramsey and Parker. The Ramsey players came up with the idea. They reached out to Parker and they said, yeah, sure, we'll do that. And they not only are saying they want to stop the violence in their particular schools, they want to stop the violence community-wide here in the magic city of Birmingham, Alabama. They have some programs and starting, and when we had a chance to talk to the head coach, Ronnie Jackson, that he said that his players are built on doing extra, and this is part of that extra.
Yeah, and talking with Ronnie Jackson, one of the things that I'm proudest of Ronnie Jackson for is the way he's developed players, James. You know, you talk about inner city football, and having coached in Birmingham and coached in inner city, one of the things that these kids are concerned about, I can tell you right now, is they're concerned about their buddies getting shot, and they're having all kind of incidents like that. And the thing I'm proudest about of Ronnie Jackson and his staff is they develop players, but they don't only develop them on the football field. Your curriculum at Ramsey High School is tough.
A baccalaureate curriculum.
And
yes,
those
sir.
guys go to school. They spend all summer taking classes, and that's what high school is about. And I hope we never lose that, and I'm afraid we're traveling that pace right now.
And our Fortis College scoring drive coming up next, but now it's time for our Shops of Grand River kickoff. Remember, save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center, and a good tackle there by special teams. And it will be not the best field position for the Rams inside their own 20, but the special teams doing a good job for Parker High School.
Yeah, and that's a great job by their special teams. And when you talk about their special teams, those guys are very well coached. And I want to tell you who that coach is.
Before you get there, Fortis College, our scoring drive. Remember, Fortis Institute, your life powered by learning, and 11 plays, 59 yards, 4 minutes and 55 seconds, capped off by the Chancellor Sparks touchdown run.
Cortez Marshall is that special teams coach for Parker and does a great job.
Rams trying to get on the board. They flare that one out to Jaden Martin, and he gets some positive yards before he's brought out of bounds.
Well, he tried to run just a toss around left end, and really wasn't a whole lot of room to run. He picked up, 6 yards, but you know, when those running backs are running toward the sideline, they're not picking up yards. They got to get those shoulders square to the goal line and pick up what they can pick up.
2nd down and 4. Keenan flares it out, and a good open field tackle. Great job made there by Quincy Crawford.
Yeah, you're talking about that secondary for Parker, and Quincy Crawford's one of the mainstays. He comes up on that little slot screen there. Watch him, they're going to step back. They throw it out there to him. Look at that play right there. He goes right through the blocker and makes a great tackle. That's textbook.
And he's the short guy on the
Yeah,
defense
he
at
sure
6 feet.
is. He sure
He's the
is.
midget. He's the little guy.
He's only 6 foot.
He's only 6 feet. And now there's a flag. Looks like we have some false start, which will move them back.
You know, you got to mention, too, when you talk about those kind of plays that they're making in the secondary, first of all, it starts with that coordinator, Rex Sharp, and then you got 2 guys coaching that secondary. You got Jonathan Drake and Terrell Pinson. Those guys do a fabulous job. Of course, they got some really good players to coach, but you still got to coach them, and those guys have done a great job doing that.
Pushing back 5, and now Keenan getting some pressure. Crawford right there to pressure him, throws it long and intercepted. Great job by Naeem Alford, and Alford staying on his feet. He has some room to run beyond midfield. He's going to stay on his feet, but finally brought down. And the young man who's committed to Ohio State, 6'2", 180, showing that his height and his athleticism showing, but there is a flag.
Yeah, we're going to have something here. Parker's going to get something, going to get called for something here. I don't know what they got, but they threw 3 flags right in a triangle there. That's a great interception, though. And is that better than a punt? That was 3rd and about 14. He throws it over the receiver. Alford intercepts it, makes a great return, but a lot of coaches will tell you that's as good as the punt for us.
No doubt. And I know that Cameron Keenan wants to have that one back. But if you're going to throw an interception, make sure you throw it as long as possible,
right.
and he did do that.
That's a good call. Good call there, James.
I did play a little bit.
Oh, James, that's
Just a little bit.
It's pretty obvious, James.
Just a little bit.
You got the toughest job in America right now tonight.
All right, so now we've got 3 flags over at the 20-yard line, as you said, in a triangle. Let's see.
Okay, it's gonna go forward or backwards. Now the white hat pointed toward this goal down here.
So it looks like it's going to go against the Rams.
No, That's
but they
going to get
should wipe it off because it was an interception. They should decline the penalty, but let's see.
Let's see if they've got a personal foul here, because that would pretty much be the only thing I could imagine.
Infraction against the Thundering Herd.
Okay, now he says it's against the Thundering Herd.
Push back to the 45-yard line. Well,
So it must have been a
first down.
play on the return because it pushes them back to about
Like
the
it was
45.
raining out there.
Yeah.
All the flags flying in.
So what they had was an illegal block in the back. And so at the point, and so they moved them back 15 yards, but that still looks like a penalty of 30 yards. So I don't. That's a textbook call there.
From their own 45 now, Thundering Herd. Reese
wide
throwing,
open.
and he has a receiver and incomplete. Just unable to find him at the right time. And that's incomplete because Jean Greg Lamb was the intended receiver, and Reese is like, you're supposed to just keep going.
That's right. You're exactly right, James. Because if Reese would have threw it, if he had thrown it right at that hash mark, and the receiver would have continued to run, I don't think anybody would have called him. McGavin's really trying to go vertical on him now, and that'll open up the run game here. Watch.
Going with twins on each side. Reese this time looks
he's
like,
down.
and he's down. He just tried to secure the ball.
Incomplete
Jelks.
pass from Reese.
Jeremiah
Intended
Jelks.
for Jeremiah Jelks.
And what you're told is you drop that ball. If you're falling down, don't catch it.
But as a receiver, you want to catch
I
it.
know,
You want to
I
catch
know.
everything that goes your way.
Yeah, but when you're losing yards, and that's a tough thing to coach. You're right. You're trying to tell a high school kid not to catch a ball that's thrown to him. That's tough.
Herd on the 21-yard line.
So now we're looking at third down, and we'll call it 14 yards. They need to get beyond midfield to the 45 of the Rams.
Look for Jacoby Quates here. It's the guy they've been to every time they've been in a tough situation.
Throwing it long, and they have a receiver, and, it touched him, but incomplete. Contrell Davis, and it just seems as though they just are not finding him in the right space.
Right.
He's 6'4", so you would think an alley-oop would be easy for him, but everything's been short or over, just haven't been finding his way.
Yeah, Dylan just underthrew that one, and that's when you just got to throw it up and put some air under it. Put some air under it and let this big 6'4" receiver go get it, and Kentrell Davis certainly is capable of doing
They're going to
that.
be good.
And now Reese is going to go on the headsets and talk to some people to see if he can find out what's been the problem. Back deep for the Rams is Deuce Alexander and Quintarius Sterling. He handles all the kicking for Parker, and he kicks it off, and here comes
25-yard line.
good Thundering Herd defense. Good special teams play there made by Keshawn Johnson, the junior linebacker.
Now, when you got a special teams coach, it really preaches coverage like that. Cortez Marshall's done such a good job with Parker's special teams. If you watch, when they're down there, they're level. They're on a level playing field. They're not getting past the receiving punt returner. They're staying level, breaking down in their lanes, and that's an excellent job by Parker on punt return.
3:27 remaining in the first half.
Ball is at the 29-yard line of Ramsey, 1st and 10. Going to keep it on the ground. And they're able to get beyond the 30, but not much more after that. Ladarian Berry on the carry.
I'm going to tell you, when you watch this matchup between Bodney Cleveland, and he's a 6'3", 305. Boy, you talking about getting some penetration. He is a good football player, and he makes it tough in the middle of that line.
And he's just a junior.
Oh, he's a junior, and everybody in the country's recruiting him.
Good play, gets close to a first down reception made there by Daniel Reeser.
And Daniel's that young guy. He's a young guy that, and when you talk to their coaches, they say this is a kid that needs a shot. He just hadn't had the confidence that he needs. He keeps making plays like that, he'll get that confidence.
3rd down and 1. They're going to still keep it in the spread, but now keep it on the ground, and they have enough for the 1st down. Pushing his way forward is Berry, and the senior running back gets a 1st down.
Now, they pulled Ryan Reese that time. Now, excuse me, they didn't. They lined him up at right tackle, and they ran right behind Ryan Reese to pick up that yard. See, Ryan Reese is playing on both sides of the ball. You see him making tackles on defense. He's knocking people off the ball on offense. And he's the one trying to block Cleveland.
1st down. Keenan keeps it, throws it, almost intercepted. The exuberance, the over-exuberance of the defender just kept him from getting the ball.
I'm going to tell you right now, James, as you watch this, you won't see many secondaries as good as this. I'm telling you, you're talking about tremendous. Look at that. See the break on the ball right there?
And if it wasn't for Rice pushing him, he may have gotten that interception.
Yeah, you're right there. And there was it's just good football. Boy, it's fun to watch that. It's fun to watch players with lots of ability execute the way these kids are executing.
2nd down and 10. Keenan now with plenty of time. Going to throw long.
Yep.
Beautiful pass reception made by Shy Rice. And Rice is into the end zone for a People's Bank of Alabama touchdown. And just like that, the Ramsey Rams are on the board.
Yeah, great throw by Keenan. I want you to watch this as we replay it. He's going to look off, and he's going to hit his 3rd receiver. Watch him look off to his left. He's looking. Now he spots him in the middle. He throws back over there. Man, that's a great route right there by Rice, and he throws it right over the free safety. Great throw right there by Cameron Keenan.
Cameron Keenan able to do well, and Shy Rice gets his 1st touchdown reception of the season and gets Ramsey Rams on the board.
That's great execution by the quarterback. You'd love to see a quarterback look one way, make his read, and then comes back and throws it back to the 3rd receiver back there. That's a really great read by the quarterback. They're going to call timeout.
They're looking for personnel. They can't find the personnel.
Going for 2.
And looks like they're going to go for 2. Keenan with time now getting some pressure, keeping his feet. And can he make it in? No, he's just short. Good defense right there. Jeremiah Hall and company able to make the play to stop them from getting their 2-point conversion. But for Ronnie Jackson, he gets that touchdown that his team needs.
That's right. Good call.
Take another look.
Here you go. He's looking, looks off. Now he looks back to Shy Rice, and there he is. Perfect throw. See how he threw it out in front of him? He just ran right to it. Great throw by your quarterback, Cameron Keenan. That's what you've worked to do, and that's your throwing. Even threw it off his back foot. Good job.
How important is it for the quarterback to throw it where he's supposed to be rather than trying to find him then throw the ball?
Well, that's the most important thing, is to throw it out in front of him and put some air under it and let these receivers run to get it. That's a great point, James.
So now we've got a ball game, and Shy Rice being congratulated by the assistant coaches, a whole new group of assistant coaches, 8 new assistant coaches joining Ronnie Jackson and his Ramsey Rams as they're trying to make a campaign to make it back to the Super 7, and they've basically been calling that home for the last 3 years.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you go around the state of Alabama and you talk about Ramsey.
There we go. He's got his touchdown chain, and that's a big R for the Rams of Ramsey. And as they say, this is part of the new generation.
Yeah.
We old fogies would be like, what in the world is going on here? But hey, this is their new world.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all doing it and having a good time with it. And he's like, okay, I took my picture, back to business.
There you go. That's it is a new generation. You're exactly right. These guys lost. Ramsey lost to Gulf Shores last year in the 5A state championship game.
Shops of Grand River Kickoff. Make sure you save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center. And here we go. Let's see what the Thundering Herd can do. Can they answer? And they're just trying to hold on to the football now. They're just going to try to do it. And here comes Quates and Jacoby Quates. And he finally gets brought down, but not before he has a dynamic return. And that was a good open field tackle there, because if he doesn't tackle him, he scores. And that was Matarius McMillan there on the tackle.
See if this is a horse collar. Let's see, James, right here. Quates is about to outrun everybody. And here we coming in there, and he grabs him.
No, well, no,
No,
that's not a
not a
horse,
horse collar.
And it's not, what do they call it, the hip tackle?
Yeah,
That
that's not
wasn't a hip tackle.
No. We didn't have a flag. I thought we had a flag. Good tackle, good open field tackle. Saved a touchdown because Quates had nothing but green grass in front of him.
Now, my question is, Coach, if you got a big tight end and you can't hip tackle him, how you going to bring him down?
That's all you got. You got to tackle him. You got to get him low.
Terrence Gaines on the carry. Gaines trying to find a hole. He can't find one. Good pursuit there by the Rams defense. Able to corral him, but he did get a couple of yards.
That's a good job there. They're in a hurry-up offense now. We're down to 1:30 to go in the half, so they're going to try to get something going here. Darren McGavin's got his hands full trying to get something on the board quick.
Alandius Thomas there on the tackle for the Rams. They're into Ramsey territory. 2nd and 6. Give again. And good job there by Gaines, able to break the line of scrimmage and get close to the first down. Once again, Jared Brundage there on the tackle for Ramsey.
Well, and you got Kendarius Blair. He's not but 6'2", 280, and Caleb Johnson over there, 6'2", 250. They opened up a huge hole right there. That's why that play works. Gives them a first down.
1st and 10 now for the Thundering Herd. Keeping it on the ground. They keep pounding it. Is that Herd offense?
And they've got timeouts. I don't know how many timeouts Parker's got, but they should have 2 at least.
Timeout, Parker.
Less than a minute to play here in the opening half. And it is an Addiction Prevention Coalition timeout.
May 8th through 11th.
Would you know what to do in order to save a life? Addiction Prevention Coalition.
James, this is one of the toughest times.
And we want to send a special shout out to King Boys Towing and Recovery. They make sure that all of our heavy equipment gets to our locations for Friday night rivals. And of course, this is the best photograph of any towing and recovery service in the world, because as you can see, they're very photogenic, but also very good at what they do. And that's King Boys Towing and Recovery.
They got some good
And
commercials.
leaning against the cab is KC with his phone in his hand. Oh, no, he's just leaning there. You know, he may be the most intriguing person out of the group.
That's a pretty good picture right there. You know, this is a tough time for a play caller because we got to get the plays in. We got to get them there quick, and we got to make sure that if we don't get out of bounds, we line up and get lined up and go to the next play. So they've called 2 plays now, and they're ready to go.
2nd down, and we'll call it 6 for the first down after the Addiction Prevention Coalition timeout. Big play, big catch into the red zone. Good reception there, and that's what you want to see from your receivers. And they are moving the ball down the field. Great job.
Yeah, let's look at this. Here's a good throw right here from Dylan Reese. Boy, that's a good catch. I'm going to tell you right now, he goes up at the highest point and gets the ball. And that's not on my.
That's Kajon Greg Lamb. Looks like 15, but it was actually 16.
16,
You know how those jerseys go and they wiggle a little bit.
Yep.
And Gaines there on the carry, and he goes nowhere fast. 32 seconds, timeout call.
Yeah, I want you to watch this. Watch how he goes up and gets the ball at the highest point. Good throw. Tight spiral, and there he goes up and gets it. Boy, that's a perfect throw. Good job by Lamb to make that catch. Notice how he uses 2 hands, secures the ball, brings it into his body. Now it can't be knocked away from him. Good protection, too, everywhere but on the outside over here. Yeah, that's just a perfect throw. Great job. Great execution there. Lamb goes up and makes the catch, secures the ball, and makes sure nobody can knock it away. Now you really, as a play caller, here's what you're thinking, James. We really don't need to score and give them a chance, you know, to get a kickoff return or anything like that. We're going to take our time. I can't see the timeouts. I don't think that I just don't see it. Okay, so Parker's got 2 left. They can take their time. You know, the one that they want to give the ball to is probably Chancellor Sparks. Sparks is the guy that wants to look for a linebacker to run over. So we're on the 3-yard line. Yeah, I can't see him doing anything but running right over that right side.
And now it's time for our Windows World Red Zone. Remember, when was the last time you got your updated your windows and doors? A world of possibilities and options are ready for you at Windows World. And Naim Alford on the carry gets it down to about the 1 yard line. His knee was down before the ball got away, so it'll be second down right here in the Windows World Red Zone. Windows World has a variety of options available. Call us at 205-916-2189 or visit us online at Windows World Alabama. Naim Alford right there close to the goal line, and he is in for the People's Bank of Alabama touchdown.
Yeah, they called it a touchdown. I don't know. I didn't see him cross the goal line, but those linesmen did, and they're right down there on the goal line.
Their third score of the night, and this is a 1 yard plunge by Alford, and it was a direct snap to him.
Yep.
And yes, all he had to do was cross it, and
Yeah.
he did, and they hit him just a tad late, and he made it in. And everybody's like, wait a minute, did he go in? Did he not? And not a bad job by the normal defensive back, but Coach says he could be a dynamic running back
Yeah.
if he focused in on it.
Yeah, well, you can pretty well bet that he's going to be a defensive back in college because he's got great hips. He's long, and when you got hips like he's got, he's kind of guy that they were playing in that secondary.
Quindarius Sterling with the point after attempt is good. 5 seconds left, and you also got to think about it. The trend now is pass happy, even in the Big Ten, which is normally run heavy.
Yeah.
And this young man is already committed to Ohio State. And you think about it, Ohio State coaches came down to Birmingham, looked at this young man and said, we need you.
Yeah, but this is not over. Let me tell you that. I can promise you, Kalen DeBoer and Hugh Freeze are not going to let this kid get out of Birmingham, Alabama without a fight. I can promise you. Because this is the kind of player that colleges want. He's long. He's got a great vertical jump, and his hips are phenomenal. If you saw him, we saw him on the interception. You saw him. He not only went up at the highest point, intercepted the ball. When he returned the interception, notice what he did. He found his blockers and got upfield.
And let's take another look at that interception that you were talking about. Keenan throws it, and look at the interception.
Watch him go up. See that? Now, he tucks the ball, and he's going to pick up. Boy, I'm going to tell you, he's a fantastic player. And we hadn't had many of those great defensive backs. Central of Phoenix City has had more than anybody. And, boy, this kid right here, he's something special. You folks want to come out and watch Parker play. If nothing else but to watch this secondary, there's something special.
Shops of Grand River save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center, and that one goes out of bounds. With just 5 seconds left, it may just be a kneel it for the Rams as they trail 21-6 to go into the locker room and see what they can work. And remember, fans who are just new to this rivalry, and you see Keenan, he may look like a 7A football player, but this is a 5A school in Ramsey going up against a 6A school in A.H. Park.
And the true word is school. They are a great school when you talk about their baccalaureate program. But listen, that's the worst mistake you can make as Parker. They kicked the ball out of bounds. Now Ramsey's going to get the ball on the 35-yard line. They got a chance to get the ball to Rice, who just scored their first touchdown, and he got behind the secondary. Nobody else has done that. I would not sit down on the ball. I'd throw a vertical pass here.
And make sure that you stay tuned for our Avadian Credit Union halftime show, which will start right after this quarter is over, and which it is, and we'll go to the locker room. It is 21-6 in favor of the Parker Thundering Herd, but the Rams, they have some life. They were able to get on the scoreboard, and Cameron Keenan and company have some work to do here in the Stop the Violence Classic here at the Old Great Lady. And we're trying to get our coach. And we got a great crowd.
You played on a short field most of the night. How concerned are you?
And it's a great crowd and a great night for football here at the Old Great Lady Legion Field, approaching 100 years old.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's almost like the ghost of Coach Bryant sitting right there leaning on that goal post down there. Just some great games between some great universities, and none greater than Alabama and Auburn playing right here.
Now, I hear back in the day they said that's where scores were settled. in the
Yeah.
state of Alabama, in the streets of Birmingham.
It was something, I'm going to tell you right now. To grow up during that time with Suge Jordan and Coach Bryant was something special.
And let's go down to Austin Pratt, who has one of our coaches. Austin?
Yes, sir, Coach. It's a 2-score lead here right now. How's the team feel going into the half?
We feel like we're leaving stuff out there on the field. I'm proud to be up. I'm not going to be that, but we should have been up more right now. But Ramsey giving us a great fight.
Definitely. And what are the points of emphasis going into the locker room?
Mental, lining up correctly, effort, giving more effort on the field, and doing our assignment, doing our job. We'll be fine.
There's been a lot of emphasis on the run game, a lot of success in the run game for you guys tonight. What's it do for momentum just being able to pound the rock every play?
This is good to show how tough a team is up front, but we got to have to create some more holes.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you so very much, Austin. Frank Warren, the head coach for the Parker Thundering Herd, and it's been the Rams who have had some miscues, but the Thundering Herd has found a way into the end zone, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and the defense has been playing well, but the Rams have found big plays when they needed to. 21-6 is your score. Stay tuned. The Avadian Credit Union halftime show coming up. Drummond Company Friday Night Rivals presented by Mesrano Law Firm continues after this.
Congratulations to the Mesrano Law. Congratulations to the Mesrano Law Firm Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Parker High School's Jeremiah Jelks holds a 4.0 GPA and is a 4-year varsity football player. He's also on the math and track teams and is the number 3 student in the class of 2025 at Parker. He's an active member of his church and the College Choice Foundation.
For the past 10 seasons, the Mesrano Law Firm has been honored to name the Student Scholar Athlete of the Week on Friday Night Rivals. We are grateful to be part of such a strong community, and we are always humbled to serve you. Congratulations to the Mesrano Law Firm Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Ramsey High School's Markel Patterson has a 4.1 GPA and is team captain for the football team. He's a top 10 linebacker in the state and was the MVP in the state championship game. He's in the National Honor Society and volunteers outside of school.
For the past 10 seasons, the Mesrano Law Firm has been honored to name the Student Scholar Athlete of the Week on Friday Night Rivals. We are grateful to be part of such a strong community, and we are always humbled to serve you.
Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Drummond Company, the Mesrano Law Firm, People's Bank of Alabama, Window World, Children's of Alabama, Avadian Credit Union, Whataburger, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Salvador's Pizza and Pasta, First Choice Heating and Cooling, Shops at Grand River, ACT Equipment, University of Alabama, Bullard Roofing, Fortis Institute, Louis Appliance, Addiction Prevention Coalition, Alabama Dial 811, Air Experts, Wind South Credit Union, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Mr. Sparky, and 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating.
Crawford, number 0, defensive lineman.
Naeem Offer, cornerback, Parker High School, 2025.
And we are Hale's Hot Shot.
Our goal is to win the championship, so we got confidence this year.
The Parker Thundering Herd are ranked 2nd in 6A. Their defense is loaded with stars galore, like
Hang on. A dynamic night for football here as we present the Drummond Company Friday Night Rival presented by Mesrano Law Firm, of Avedian Credit Union halftime show. 21-6 is your score in favor of the Parker Thundering Herd. Ms. Hale has her Hale Hot Shots as we take a look at the package.
Jordan Crawford, number 0, defensive lineman.
Naeem Offer, cornerback, Parker High School, 2025.
And we are Hale's Hot Shot.
Our goal is to win the championship, so we got confidence this year.
the Parker Thundering Herd are ranked 2nd in 6A. Their defense is loaded with stars galore, like Auburn-bound Jordan Crawford. How much you weigh and how tall are you?
I'm like 320.
320.
Like,
He big.
And 5-star cornerback Naeem Offord, the #1 ranked junior in Alabama. How cool is it to be like one of the nation's top players in high school?
I mean, it feel good because, I mean, it feel like you the man. But it's also, I be thinking, I be like, man, I know there's a lot of people that wish they was in my shoes. So I don't take it for granted. So that's why I grind and I work out. I do what I'm supposed to do. Because there's a lot of people that wish they can do what I did or had what I had. Because not too many people get this opportunity.
You're gonna go to Ohio State, right?
They've been recruiting me since they offered me. So if I compare them to other schools, you can tell the difference. Like, you can look in the cities, you can look at the fan base, everything. You can just see the difference.
Why are you looking at him like that?
Because he's an Auburn commit.
Auburn. What made you decide that?
It was the only ones recruiting me hard.
What do you think about Hugh Freeze, and what other coach has left a good impression on you so far?
He's cool. I can see myself playing for him, so
Yeah.
that's another reason I picked Parker. You don't get the same atmosphere when you go other places.
Does it make you more nervous whenever college coaches come out and watch you, or does it hype you up even more?
Nah, we too used to it.
I want you all to talk about each other and explain, if someone were to watch him on a field, what would they see?
He a decent player. He a decent player. I wouldn't give him like, if you had to rate him on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give him about a 7, 8. Give him about an 8.
I feel like he's playing with me right now.
I'd give him about an 8.
I'm off the scale. I don't even think I'm not a 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm beyond. I'm all that.
Okay, now what are people gonna see from him?
It look nasty. It looks scary when he be slamming people. Just don't let Jordan catch you. He one of them type people. If he grab you, it's over.
Senior year, obviously you want to leave it all out there. How are y'all feeling? Are y'all confident?
Definitely. Like, we be ready to play. We be tired of playing against each other. We can't wait to see our other opponent. I most definitely say we be ready to play.
Welcome back to the Avadian Credit Union Halftime Show. Our halftime score, Parker up 21-6. Time now for a special message from the Children's Hospital of Alabama.
We're talking about distracted driving with Leslie Brown of the Health Education and Safety Center here at Children's of Alabama. So Leslie, I know people talk about cell phones as being a big distraction for teen drivers, but there are many others as well, right?
That's right. So cell phones are definitely a big distractor, not just for teen drivers, but for adults as well. But one thing that parents of new drivers may not realize is that the number of friends, the number of passengers that new driver adds to their vehicle is also a huge distraction. So obviously it's very convenient when our kids get that independence. They can go out and drive themselves to school, they can drive themselves to work, they can go to concerts, to church, all the things. But what we want to do as parents to kind of protect them in a way of making sure that we are decreasing their risk is not allowing them to pick up all their friends on the way. Adding one passenger or friend to the vehicle doubles their chances of being in a car crash. 2 to 3 extra friends triples and on the more passengers that you add to that vehicle.
So that's obviously one thing that parents want to talk to their teens about before they start driving.
Right.
How do they approach that conversation? What's the best way to do it?
Well, I think it's always good to start young. Start with our young teens, and parents talk to them about being a safe passenger, making sure that they're not distracting the driver with turning up the radio or showing them things on their cell phone, but to be watching for driving hazards around them. And also, it should be a non-negotiable. Every person in the vehicle should have on their seatbelt. The driver, every passenger, no matter where you're seated in the vehicle. Then as they progress on to getting their driver's permit, caregivers and parents need to make sure that we are driving with them and practicing with them in all kinds of weather conditions, night and day, rural roads, interstates, all those things, so they can practice with an experienced driver before they get on the road by themselves. And then right before they get their driver's license, they need to be making themselves familiar with the graduated driver's license law. The graduated driver's license program was created for families so that they can have that foundation of things that allow their new driver to practice and drive safely on the roads with decreased risk and distractions as they are new drivers. And of course, every family needs to add the non-negotiables to that are important to their household.
A lot of precautions for teen drivers to take to make sure they're staying safe on Alabama's highways. For more information, go to childrensal.org.
Drummond Company, the Mesrano Law Firm, People's Bank of Alabama, Window World, Children's of Alabama, Avadian Credit Union, Whataburger, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Salvador's Pizza and Pasta, First Choice Heating and Cooling, Shops at Grand River, ACT Equipment, University of Alabama, Bullard Roofing, Fortis Institute, Louis Appliance, Addiction Prevention Coalition, Alabama Dial 811, Air Experts, Wind South Credit Union, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Mr. Sparky, and 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating.
21-6 is your score in favor of the Parker Thundering Herd. We stopped. Austin Pratt has the head coach for the Ramsey Rams, Ronnie Jackson.
Coach Jackson, down 2 scores coming out of the half. Tell me a little bit about some of that conversation in the locker room, the adjustments that were made.
Man, I warned our guys, man, when we first started. I say, fellas, listen here. There's going to be a storm coming our way. So it's how do we deal with that storm, man. It's all about how you bounce back. That's what we're doing as coaches. And so I'm happy with what's going on right now.
There's been a lot of defense, a lot of ball on the ground today, but there was one really good pass that happened today. Tell me a little bit about that play. Are we going to see more of that in the second half?
Yeah, most definitely. We're going to make adjustments, man. Our kids are young. This whole entire group, I want to say 7 guys on the whole offense and defensive side, first time playing, big game. So the jitters and everything, they got to calm down, and that's what I'm doing to them, make sure they calm down and come out and play Ramsey football.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Coach. Really appreciate you taking the time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Austin. Rick, this has been a situation where we've had 2 powerhouse teams, but the heavier team in 6A Thundering Herd, A.H. Park, has really flexed their muscle.
Well, I love what Ronnie Jackson had to say. We're going to be positive. We're going to encourage. This is a big, big game. I mean, these guys are like brothers. I mean, they're 2 schools located close to each other. You can rest assured that what Ramsey's going to do is they're going to come out and try to simplify everything that they're doing. When you look at the stats in this game, they've only averaged 2 yards a play. So, yeah, I like what Ronnie Jackson had to say. That's what all of us coaches need to know, is to encourage even when we're in those valleys.
Let's go to our highlights. And early on, it was the Ramsey defense that was stepping up big and really handcuffed the Thundering Herd early on.
Yeah, great penetration there by that defensive front. And you see when they get penetration, they give Reese a hard time.
Talton Thomas, Johnny on the spot on a bad punt, and he's able to give the Thundering Herd great offensive field position. And then from there it will be Dylan Reese, who would run 22 yards in for the opening score.
Well, that's great. That's great running by Reese. He just picked his way in, found his blockers, and got in the end zone.
Another batted ball there by the vaunted defensive front by the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, that's that big 6'6". You got to be able to throw over him, and that's a tough task to ask.
Going wide is Sparks, and Chancellor Sparks makes it in for the second score of the game.
Well, really an inside run. He just breaks it outside. Boy, you see a great throw right here. And, boy, Rice just made a great route, throws it over the top for 6 for Ramsey.
58 yards on that touchdown reception, and then this long pass to Lamb sets up the easy run by Naeem Alford to make it 21-6 in favor of the Thundering Herd. As we take a look at the stats, -9 rushing yards.
Yeah, you can't win football games rushing for negative yards, and Ronnie Jackson knows that, and they'll make those adjustments. Watch those 2 big offensive tackles get side by side, get some unbalanced tackle over. We'll see some of that in the second half.
And for Parker, they seem steady as they go, almost a full balance, 85 and 69 yards passing.
And that's exactly right. You said the word balance. They're balanced on offense. Doesn't give the defense of Ramsey any kind of perception as to what they're going to do. They're playing a guessing game right now, and they'll get better.
And for Ramsey, as far as adjustments, trying to get more than 2 first downs, how big is that going to be?
Yeah, that's a huge thing. And what you got to do is you got to play upfield. You just got to say, we're going to run down. We're going to look down the chute. We're going to run forward, not going to run east and west. We're going to get behind those big offensive linemen and make something happen with them.
Well, we'll see when we come back. We'll get you ready for the third quarter. Stop the Violence Classic, Friday Night Rivals season kickoff, and it's been a whale of a game. Stay tuned for the third quarter. For 97 years, the Old Gray Lady has been the centerpiece of football in the South, and nothing different tonight as we kick off the 2024 high school football season here in the state of Alabama. Drummond Company Friday Night Rival, presented by Mesrano Law Firm. James Verrett along with Rick Cleveland. 21-6 is your score in favor of 6A A.H. Parker and the reigning 5A state finalists, the Ramsey Rams and Ronnie Jackson. They're trying to get themselves together and learn from what they had in the first half.
And I think that was the thing. I think what Ronnie and his staff went in at halftime and said, guys, this is a storm. How are we going to weather this storm? And the way we need to weather it is to take our time and make play after play. We got to play them one play at a game. Can't look backwards. The rearview mirror is not a good picture. Let's look forward and let's get better every snap. Offense, defense, special teams. We got to get better, and this is our half to get better.
Time now for our Shops of Grand River kickoff. Remember, save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center. And it's a returnable ball for the Thundering Herd, but good defense. Check that, the Rams on the return. And Quindarius Sterling with the kickoff, but a good open field tackle there by the special teamer for A.H. Parker.
We got a lot of towels on the field, and they're yellow.
Yes, indeed, a lot of yellow flags.
So we're going to have some kind of penalty probably against the return team, and so Ramsey's going to start back in probably inside that red zone. He signaled holding against Parker, but it's obviously holding against Ramsey. There you go. And they're starting. Got a long field again. You know, that's the thing Parker had in the first half. They played on the short field most of the half.
So now, rather than having it 1st and 10 close to the 20, they are inside their 15 down to about the 11. Keenan going to hand it off, and getting loose and trying to get second and third effort is Jaden Martin on the carry.
That's a good run right there. You had motion going across the offense, and that motion made those linebackers slip a little bit. And he gives the ball to Martin right up the gut. Got a missed tackle there. That's good hard running. Well, you like to see those running backs keep moving their feet.
Second down. Once again, giving it to Martin. And Martin trying to find his way close to the first down marker, and he's brought down just a few yards short. And once again, a good play there by Caleb Smith.
You know, what you see Caleb Smith doing there is he's sealing that outside. You can't get outside there, and when that running back's running east and west and he can't get to the corner, he's a dead duck. And that's just exactly what happened right there. It's going to bring up a third down and short.
Good pursuit there by the 6'5" or 6'6" defensive lineman. Keeping it on the ground. This time Ladarian Berry on the carry, and he has enough to push them across for a Bullard Roofing first down. The proof is in our roof, Bullard Roofing.
That's a win right there for Ramsey. They're running the ball right there behind Devon Rudolph at center, and Jaden Foreman at right guard, and Ryan Reese at right tackle. Great job right there. We're already seeing some cramps.
There he is. Looks like he's cramping up. And a lot of people don't realize this, but you have to hydrate yourself 48 hours before you get out here in the heat in that full uniform.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we've always done is we start hydrating on Sunday. Sunday's the day, and we send out notices to our parents. Let's start drinking water. Let's drink water at every meal. We need to hydrate from Sunday all the way through next Sunday and just start over again. And that's, you know, in this weather, we're in 90 to 100 degree weather, James, and it's not only is it dangerous, it's tough. It's tough on these kids.
No doubt about it. And plus, this is an age where you don't have too many people who have been raised without an air conditioner.
That's right.
So they're used to having some cool air. Keenan now with 1st and 10, and he's going to throw it. Reception made and gets knocked out of bounds, but not before he finds some positive yards as Jaden Martin and a good tackle there by Talton Thomas.
And that's the thing you see here. You're going to see Martin drift out of the backfield. And Keenan is going to pass right over there to him. And really, that's linebacker flat coverage right there. And really, the linebacker was there. One, a 6-yard gain. So that's a win for Ramsey.
Keenan's going to hand it off again to Martin. Martin right now finding some positives against this Parker defense, and that was Stephen Pogge able to make the play.
Now you're going to watch that left guard, Ryan Reese. Watch Ryan. He's pulling out in front. Now he's going to clear the way for him. Boy, that's a good job being in front of him. Stay behind your jersey.
Check that. That was Stephen Posey. I can't read my own handwriting sometimes. Me too. Another first down there for Ramsey.
Okay, they tried to throw just a little squibble pass out here to the right. Boy, I'm telling you, this secondary of Parker is fine. I'm telling you, they're well tuned, and it's hard to get a break.
And they haven't pushed the panic button, even though they've had some receptions made against them.
No, you're right. And good for what Ramsey's doing here. Ronnie Jackson's come out and simplified things. We're running the ball around these big linemen. Oh, boy.
And this time the defense snuffs it out and quickly wraps it up and brings him down. A good play there by Isaiah Green, the junior linebacker.
That's a big play. Yeah, Isaiah Green, that's a big play for that kid.
And we're going to tell Coach they have to check his weight. They say he's 5'11", 175.
Well, he's every bit of 225.
I think he ate somebody that was 175 and added him to his body.
See, they're behind the sticks now, 3rd and 11.
Keenan throwing it long and out of bounds. Just couldn't find anybody that was open.
Now, when you roll your quarterback to the left, even though Keenan's got a strong arm, you know, he overthrew him and he overthrew earlier and Alford intercepted it. You got to get that ball where only your guy can catch it, and that's to throw it to that outside arm.
Clarence Taylor back deep now for the Thundering Herd. And Keebler to punt for the Rams of Ramsey.
Now, Ramsey's punting game got a little better as the game went on, but the first 2 punts kind of straight up. Parker wants to return these punts. They're moving them up.
4th and 12. Keebler. And this time it rolls, and it will take a good bounce for the Rams.
You know, you see a mistake right there by Parker. If you're a punt returner, you got to get away from the ball.
And that's what Coach Frank Warren is trying to let them know: get away from the ball.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things. You get away from the ball, let the ball go. If it's on the ground, you get away from it as an offense. Defense, you let it roll as far as it'll roll. And that's just a mistake. That's, you know, early on in the season, you want your defenses to be way ahead of your offense. You want your special teams to be crisp, and your offenses catch up as the year goes on. And that's pretty much what we've seen here tonight.
Reese will have decent field position at his own 30-yard line. Going to keep it on the ground. 1 man to miss. 2 men miss. And then finally they're able to bring down Chancellor Sparks, who already has a touchdown. And a good tackle there by Ryan Reese.
Well, and that's the thing. If you're an outside linebacker, you got to attack from the outside in. He tried to go inside, tackle his inside arm. You got to tackle him from his outside leg, and that just didn't happen. So that's what defensive coordinators will work on this coming week, for those guys to tackle outside in.
4 wide receiver set, 3 all the way out on the far side. They move Jelks in motion and now keeping it on the ground. Now that could have possibly been a horse collar, but it looks like they wrapped up Sparks at the top of the shoulder pad and brought it down.
That's Ryan Reese is making a tackle. He's playing both ways. You see big number 56 out there. He's playing offensive tackle, and he's playing defensive tackle as well. He's making tackles. We saw him running and leading the play on the run on offense. So that's a heck of a football player.
And at the next level, that's what coaches want to see, a guy who's willing to lay it out all out there for his team.
Absolutely.
6'2", 265.
Man.
3rd down and 7. Send Gaines in motion, and now Reese is getting some pressure. And this time he just couldn't find Jelks at the right space. He hasn't been able to get some of those premier receivers at the right time. And you see Coach Jackson, he's not too high and mighty not to tie the shoe of one of his players.
There you go. Well, I'm telling you, the thing that I love about Ronnie Jackson and Ramsey, they just keep on developing players. You know, they take them when they're young and develop them. When they get to be juniors, they're playing. And when they get to be seniors, they're standouts. And that's I love the way that program is run. Just like Parker, two good programs. And like the way Ramsey develops those players.
Quindarius Sterling on to do the punting for the Thundering Herd on 4th down.
That's a fumble.
Fumble, and the ball is picked up, but you can't advance it.
They didn't call for a fair catch. So.
And as they say, this is learning on the job.
Ball picked up by the Thundering Herd.
Touch, yeah. He muffed the punt.
He muffed the punt, got loose, and it was recovered. And Deuce Alexander will definitely learn from that one. And for the Thundering Herd, they get the ball back once again in premier situations off of special teams.
Yeah, again, like the first half, they're having a short field here. They're 35 yards from a touchdown. So you can't give these really good football teams like the Parker Thundering Herd a short field. With all these players, they got a good offensive line, outstanding receivers, and a good quarterback. It's just tough to stop them.
So now Dylan Reese gets another opportunity to continue this opening drive here in the third quarter for Parker High School. Now in territory of Ramsey, getting some pressure, tries a screen. Gaines gets it, but he is quickly wrapped up and brought down. Good open field tackle. And they're able to bring him down pretty quick.
That's
and
good.
that was Jamal Brundage, Jared Brundage.
Yeah, that's great recognition by Brundage. He picked up the screen right off the bat and didn't gain but about a yard if he gained that.
Patterson trying to get the call in defensively for the Rams.
Ramsey's having a little bit of trouble lining up. Looks like they've made that adjustment on this play.
And this time can't go anywhere fast is Gaines, and he's wrapped up James Reynolds leading the way for the team from the Hill, Ramsay High School.
Well, they sent Tyrell Williams on what we call a fire, and Williams was right there to make the tackle, and he went down to his feet and didn't make it.
Now you see the BCS that's on the shoulders of the teams of both teams. That represents Birmingham City Schools. Both of these teams represent Birmingham City Schools. They're within the city limits, and I would dare to say that they don't have another city that have two teams this dynamic. And into the end zone, touchdown, Clarence Taylor, People's Bank of Alabama touchdown. And People's Bank of Alabama, we care about people, and another long touchdown pass from Reese to Clarence Taylor.
Yeah, that's a great throw by Reese, and Taylor was wide open. He was wide open running down that right side, comes all the way across the field. Reese breaks the pocket, rolls right, and there's Taylor coming all the way across. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
6 foot 185, and his first touchdown of the evening. And you see the Parker High School band, and the point after attempt coming from Sterling. Kick is up, and whoa, that one goes wide right, and it's no good. And that may be the only negative play on special teams so far tonight for A.H. Parker.
Taking the water timeout? Yeah.
As we'll take a timeout, 5:24. We'll take one with them, and right now it is the Thundering Herd who have a 27-6 lead. Drummond Company Friday Night Rivals presented by Mesrano Law Firm, and the good arm of Reese finding the receiver in Clarence Taylor, and he makes the other team sing the blues as they're up 27-6. Stay tuned.
To the wayside where I can't slide to the point where they're really in my face. I'm not looking for sympathy.
27-6 is your score. James Verrett along with Rick Cleveland, and it's time now for our Shops of Grand River kickoff. Remember, you can save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center. Sterling to do the kick. And it is returnable by Ramsey. They're going to try to go wide, and they found some room and get out to the 20-yard line. And a good tackle there made by Jones.
Here's the turnover right here. Boy, that's what we call a muff punch. You can't pick it up and run it, but it gave them great position. And Reese is just going to throw a bullet down here to Taylor, and that's just a great throw and a great catch. Secondary's got to always know, stay with that deepest defender. Don't let him get behind you. Good job by quarterback Reese. Good route by Taylor. Good throw. That's a touchdown. If you get behind the secondary, that's going to happen.
So now it'll be up to quarterback Cameron Keenan to see if he can try to orchestrate a comeback or try to answer with a score.
And the problem with that is you got to throw the ball, and you got to throw it into the teeth of this secondary. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll say this right now, this secondary is as good as any secondary in the state of Alabama. I don't care what classification it is.
Keenan gets a low snap, and this time he's going to pay the price and go down. Robert Taylor, and this young man is up and coming. He's just a sophomore, played as a true freshman, and he grew an inch. He was 6 feet, now he's 6'1".
Boy, Alabama people talk about having trouble with centers last year. Well, Ramsey's having some trouble with the center quarterback exchange tonight. They'll get that fixed. That'll be something repetition will take care of. And one reason he's having trouble is he's got that big defensive nose tackle sitting right up on top of him. And you got a Vodney Cleveland or you got a Jordan Crawford sitting on you, and he's hitting you in the mouth every time you snap it.
And let's talk about that defensive front. 6'6", 6'2", 6'3", 6'1".
Yeah.
And that's just the first teamers.
Yeah.
And then you got a couple of 6-footers running second team. And you've got a sophomore, a junior, and 2 seniors across that front line. And that's pretty intimidating.
Well, and they're not slow either.
No.
They get off the ball. That's the thing about it. They get off the ball. We got a penalty on Parker. And we got a personal foul, or do we have it's a 15-yard penalty, so we got something here. Let's see. I didn't see anything from the referee.
Parker penalized 10 yards, holding.
Okay.
Defensive holding.
Ball is now placed at the 31-yard line. First down.
That's a big break for Ramsey. Let's see if they can take advantage of it here.
First down and 10 now. Got a little breathing room. And it goes nowhere up, and looks like we may have a little cramp going. And now we've got a little pushing and shoving going on between Vodney Cleveland and others.
Yeah, it looked like he and Jaden Foreman were getting tied up there. Foreman was a little high as an offensive lineman, but he and Cleveland tied up. Cleveland couldn't make the tackle, but so you got to give a plus to Foreman there.
And now it looks like we got a little possible cramps. Yeah, they holding that leg up. And as my coach used to say, if you're drinking water the night of the game, it's too late. And one group that's always hydrated and ready to roll, King Boys, towing in recovery. We want to thank them for coming and making sure that all of our heavy equipment makes it to every site that we will go to this season on Friday Night Rivals. And as I've always said, this is the best picture in the world for any towing and recovery company workers, and they're always ready to give you a pose and also tow and recover your vehicle. King Boys, towing and recovery.
I'll tell you right now, if I break down on the side of the road, I'm going to call King Boys.
There you
That's
go.
for sure.
There you go.
I think they would haul me to Mobile. What do you think?
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. You call that number, and they will definitely get you all the way there. Now, I don't know how much that will cost you.
Boy, I don't know how much that would cost either.
You may have to just give the car up after that one.
That's right. But they sure look like they could take care of any business problems that you've got on the highway. You sure need to call them. You folks around Central Alabama, that's a big plus.
No doubt about it. It's a great big area in north central Alabama. You really think about it, you can most likely touch Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia when you think about this area of central Alabama.
Yeah. And you know there's good football played in North Alabama, North Central Alabama. You think about Calhoun County over in in the Pell City area. You go on up into there. Of course, we got a new coach at Pell City now.
Yes.
Nick Gentry, one of Bill Clark's guys, is now the head coach there. And I know that, boy, they in the past have played some really tough football, but they've had some tough luck the last few seasons. And so we're pulling for Nick and the new athletic director there, Marty Smith, to make some inroads and make some good things happen. But there's great football. You go up around Oxford, go play Oxford or Anniston or Walker Wellborn, some of those folks.
Yes, and Oxford has brand new facilities, indoor facility, and all those things. I mean, you get off I-20 and you're like, wait a minute, I thought Jacksonville was another 20 miles ahead.
That's right.
So
yeah, that's true. We drove through Baldwin County, and Baldwin County High School building a brand new indoor facility. It's all over the state.
Oh my goodness. 2nd down and 9. And what makes this game special, neither one of these teams have indoor facilities or pavilions, and you see Cameron Keenan using those legs, and he's able to get a first down and more. And it is a flag. This may be coming back due to holding down the field, but he may have enough for a first. But now he's waving in saying, hey, I need you because I may have pulled something.
He's cramping. Get
he
on the ground.
Definitely cramping up.
Okay, so that's going to be a spot foul, and the spot was almost at the end of the run, so it should move it back to about the 45-yard line. Let's see if that happens. So that's a good job right there by Cameron Keenan. He saw there was nobody open. He almost outran those 2 secondary players, but he got a cramp. Wasn't able to go any further. Good read, though, by Keenan.
6'4", 215. And he's not necessarily known as a runner on the field, but he is a pretty good runner.
He sure is. And he made a great throw earlier tonight to Shy Rice.
On Thursday, August 29th, as they will be their first season opener.
And Keenan will make it off the field. And now we'll see who will be the quarterback. He does have his Alabama towel on. I don't know if that's wishful thinking or he's trying to send a message.
Let's see if they go to a Wildcat-like formation with one of the running backs.
Looks like they're going to put Shy Rice in the Wildcat position.
Yep.
And it makes it easier to look at Shy Rice because he does have the red hair, so I can always find it. And there goes Rice, and he's going to hand it off to Martin. Martin rolls around like a pinball, and just like a pinball, he found a stopping point, and that was Jordan Crawford making the play.
I love the block that you see there. Devon Rudolph made a great block right there. He and Jaden Foreman. Love to see these offensive linemen stop penetration and drive people back off the ball, and that's when you get those creases and those running backs can hit them. You pick up 3 or 4 yards against this defense, you've done something.
2nd down and about 6 yards to go. Keeping Rice in since Keenan is getting a breathe after possibly suffering from cramps. Tackle made and a good ramp up there by Talton Thomas, who has really been playing well tonight.
That's just a quarterback load. Shy Rice just fakes the ball to the running back, and he runs it right around right in. I'm going to tell you right now, it's so very hard to get upfield against this defense because so much lateral movement by those linebackers from Parker.
And once again, we got another player down, and this time it is for the Thundering Herd and Addiction Prevention Coalition timeout. Would you know what to do in order to save a life? Addiction Prevention Coalition. Right now, a lot of these guys need some fluids in them because I don't think that they've been, they were hydrating themselves. And you know, granted, we've had some great weather. The humidity has left here in north central Alabama, and we've had some nights where we got into the low 60s, one night in the 50s. So it sort of sneaks up on you. The humidity has been under 30%. So some guys may have been like, well, I'm not sweating as much as I was in previous weeks, so I can lay off it a little bit. And plus, school has started, so you're not at home able to just cool and drink fluids just all day uninterrupted.
Saw Ronnie Jackson there talking to Shy Rice about riding out his fate, keeping that ball in the running back's belly to make those linebackers step up.
Rice gets the low snap. Now he's going to try to run wide.
Yeah.
And he runs out of bounds. And good thing he ran out of bounds, because the loss would have been even worse, because the Herd defense was right there to wrap him up.
Yeah, James, it's hard to get around that corner. You know, that's the one thing that Parker's not going to let you do. They're not going to let you break containment. And Shay Rice that time, he tried his best to turn that corner, but the corner came up. That outside linebacker was there. There's just nowhere to go. It's a tough situation for Ramsey now, playing a backup quarterback, taking a receiver out. That's really helped him.
Keebler on to do the punting again, and a quick punt. And it's returnable, offered on the return. Naim offered the young man, and there's a lot of flags. He gets it out to midfield. But this talented defensive back / running back / returner, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he is, but he made a bad mistake there. You notice when he caught the ball, he kept the ball in his inside arm. You got to get young players out there, get that ball in the outside arm near the sideline, and make sure that that ball's in that outside arm. Be able to use that inside arm to stiff arm and do whatever you need to do. That's something I'm sure he's been taught. He was excited to get the ball and wanted to make something happen. But you got to get that ball in that outside arm. Well, he's a good-looking kid, isn't he?
No doubt about it. And as you say, even though he's committed to Ohio State, the jury's still out on it.
Yeah, don't you dare think that Alabama staff and Auburn staff and Clemson staff, and every Tennessee staff, don't you think that those guys are going to quit recruiting that kid?
And Georgia staff.
Oh, yeah. Kirby will probably quit playing golf over here. I can promise you they ain't not going to quit recruiting that kid. He's a fine-looking young, but he's got some great compadres back there with him, I can tell you that.
Yes, no doubt. Flag against A.H. Parker. Moves him back to about the 23-yard line. And that's where the Thundering Herd offense will take over with a minute 57 left here in the third quarter. And for some people, they were looking for a grudge match, but I think if they would have started to look at the stats and the roster, they would have known that Parker, head and shoulders, had a little bit more talent than Ramsey.
Well, there's not many teams in the state that got any more talent than Parker has, I can tell you that. Great
and
play
that one
there.
goes wide, and good defense there by Ramsey, able to make a play for a loss.
You know, we talked about that secondary. It's not just Naeem Offord. You got Johnny Moody, you got Tim Merritt, you got Joseph Hall. They're all long, and they can all run. They're just really good players, and it's been tough on this Ramsey offense to try to make something happen.
Caleb Likes on that tackle, playing that defensive end spot for Ramsey. And now Reese trying to do a bubble screen, and now on the cutback is Taylor. Taylor trying to turn a negative into a positive. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but Jordan Colley right there to bring him down. And it looks like it's another loss there. Now they're inside their own 10-yard line.
That's a good job by the Ramsey defense. Pursuit is vital against this Parker team. Never give up on a play, and so great pursuit there. And, you know, I love this. You don't see any quit in Ramsey. You just don't see it. And those coaches continue to encourage, and let's learn from what we're doing.
Third down, and we'll call it a half of a block. They need to get out beyond the 30 to about the 34 to make sure they have enough for the first. Reese getting some pressure. He eludes one defender, throws a flare out, and he just can't hit the right guy. Contrell Davis is like, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
You just keep throwing it everywhere else except high so I can go get it.
Yeah, and really that was an ill-fated throw there. He probably should have just ran that ball. What they wanted to do was run the clock out in the third quarter and maybe flip ends, but, you know, that's a bad decision right there by Dylan Reese. Just run the ball. Don't let that clock stop. You can get a little break here between quarters.
Quindarius Sterling back to kick once again, but this time in a precarious situation, halfway into his own end zone.
Ramsey almost blocked his last punt. Let's see if this would be a great place to have a blocked punt, I can tell you that.
Deuce Alexander back deep for Ramsey. This time he kicks one high, and it's not going to take a good bounce for Parker. And they're able to eventually bring it down, and it looks like a Ramsey player was there to catch the ball.
And that's a bad mistake, James. You got to get away from those balls when they're bouncing on the floor. But that's, you're right. That is a Ramsey player that went up and got the ball.
And even Coach Jackson's like, you got to get away, get away, get away. So now 18 seconds left here in the third quarter. And let's see exactly what the Rams can do in their best field position all night long.
No doubt. No doubt. They're, 23, 28 yards away from the end zone.
Their only score was a 50-plus yard reception from Shy Rice. And this will be stopped because everybody couldn't hear. False start. And you can see Coach Warren thinking about what we're going to do in the fourth quarter to put this game to bed. Put it on ice.
Well, and, you know, you really want to run the football and make that, you know, run that clock. You got a 21-point lead, and you want the clock to run. And you don't do that throwing the football, I can tell you that.
No doubt.
But Connor McDavid has done a great job, I can tell you that, running this offense tonight.
Keenan with time, throwing it long, and has a receiver, and right there again is Shy Rice with the People's Bank of Alabama touchdown, and lightning does strike twice for the Rams.
Yeah, we talk about that secondary, but you cannot let a receiver get behind you. You just can't do it, and I can promise you, Rex Sharp is going to be talking about this. You can't let Shy Rice get behind you. Great job there by the quarterback to throw it right. See, you can't let them get behind you, and that's exactly what happened over there. I think that was Johnny Moody or Quincy Crawford one. He got behind. We got to go for two here.
Going for two. Moore goes in motion. Quick throw, and that is incomplete. Seems as though Keenan had to get rid of it real fast.
Parker 27, Ramsey 12.
But once again, another long pass.
Boy, look at this. This is a great job by Keenan to step up in there, sees Rice down there, and throws it over the secondary. Great throw again. Two great throws for touchdowns right there by Keenan.
Once again, just a friendly
And
reminder.
they're showing their strengths tonight. Another great touchdown pass. And just like that, it is 27-12. Parker still with the lead, but the Rams still sending a statement with Shy Rice from Cameron Keenan.
Well, you got some young players in there for Parker. They've got some players playing in that secondary that hadn't played a lot. But that was Timothy Merritt that got beat there. And Timothy Merritt's one of their better secondary players. So, and see, by Parker not running that clock out, running the ball, and letting that third quarter go to end, see, that let them get some momentum, and they score right before the end of the third quarter, and now we're a two-touchdown game. and hey, there's no quit in this Ramsey team.
Shops of Grand River kickoff, save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center. Little squib kick there. Up back will take it and try to make the run. Trying to stay on his feet, does a good job as he gets close to Ramsey territory. Good run back there by Isaiah Miles, the junior running back for A.H. Parker.
I'll tell you, over there on that wide side of the field, on the opposite side of the press box, somebody did a great job. We can't see his number, but I think it was number 9. Did a great job of keeping contained, forcing that runner out of bounds, because if he'd have cut back, he'd have had nothing but green grass.
I think that was Deuce Alexander. He's been in on a lot of special teams tonight for the Ramsey Rams.
That's a good call, James. That's exactly who it was.
First and 10 now at the 44-yard line of A.H. Parker. The Thundering Herd trying to add on to their 27-12 lead. This should be the last play of the quarter. Quick pass, almost intercepted.
Whoa.
Wow, the Rams had it right there in their arms. Marquell Patterson was like, man, I needed that one.
And Marquell Patterson, it's a kid who's got a 4.2 GPA. Ooh, he's special.
We come back, we'll go to the fourth and final quarter, and it's been dancing and a lot of hitting going on for the Thundering Herd as they found their receivers now, and they can't stop the receiving Shy Rice. We'll see what happens in the fourth quarter. Stay tuned.
Can't rock where they can't go. Can't top or just can't fly, cause I know the things they can't know.
Children's of Alabama Smile Cam, and the Ramsey Ram dance member is right there, and she's putting on a little smile after doing her dance. Children's of Alabama Smile Cam, one of our anchor pieces here at Friday Night Rivals as we start the fourth quarter. Frank Warren with the Parker Thundering Herd looking to try to put this game on ice, but standing in their way are the Rams of Ramsey that are definitely putting up a fight as we start the fourth quarter. Here looking at 2nd down and 9. Quick throw by Reese. It almost intercepted. He overthrows his intended receiver. And good job by Terrence Atkins to get his hand on it, just couldn't bring it in.
Let's watch this. That throw, he's overthrowing him. Yeah, that ball's going to be intercepted a lot of times. You got a lucky break there. Just overthrowing receivers, that's one thing, boy, that you just can't do that. And that goes in his mechanics, and that's stuff that you work on every day in practice. It's release of the football at the right point.
3rd down and 10. Need a conversion here to keep the drive alive. Reese with some time. Now it's getting some pressure. Hits the safety valve, and the safety valve is quickly turned off. And this is a good time for Salvatore's Pizza and Pasta Pizza Break. Remember, Salvatore's, if you mentioned Friday Night Rivals at Salvatore's Pizza and Pasta, you can get an extra 20% off your order. Remember, Salvatore's Pizza and Pasta. Mention Friday Night Rivals and get an extra 20% off. And Marquell Patterson and company, they have forced a punt now by the Thundering Herd.
Well, momentum seems to be shifting now. It looks like Ramsey's kind of got a little momentum after that late 3rd quarter touchdown. See what we can do right here with this offensive possession. Looks like they were offsides there. Good punt. Now you got to catch that punt in the air.
And it's going to take a bounce, and it's going to be down inside the 14. And time now to look at our Whataburger Play nominees. This is a pretty good one there by Reese.
Yeah, Dylan Reese breaks all the protection there. Does a great job.
Chancellor Sparks with his touchdown run. That one's pretty good also. And then Clarence Taylor there with the touchdown reception. All of those are Whataburger nominees.
Well, that's 3 good plays right there. You know, Ramsey just made a bad mistake right here. You got to catch that punt in the air, and that's something they work on every day. And I'm sure Ronnie Jackson and his staff will be talking about that. Cost them 10 yards here. They'd have been outside the 20, but instead the ball rolls inside the 15. So you got to catch those punts in the air, you young players.
Ramsey Rams now looking at first down in their own territory. Keenan gets hit, and he gets brought down. Well, they call it a safety.
No,
they'll say that he was down at about the 3-yard line, but good play there by the defense of Ramsey, able to make the play. Robert Taylor, that super sophomore, once again in on the play.
Boy, and he came in almost unblocked. That's a big-time play for Robert Taylor. And, you know, you got to lock him up, and that's exactly what he did.
And he's been making just some great forceful tackles, great form tackles tonight.
Looks like they're moving to a 3-man front. That's there.
And doesn't have much there, and player loses his helmet. He'll have to leave out for a play.
He's got to leave for a play, and that's Ryan Reese. That's one of their best offensive and defensive players, and that's got to keep those helmets on, kids.
3rd and 21.
See, it's 3rd and 21 now. No coach, no OC has got to play for 3rd and 21 coming out of your end zone here, James. And, you know, what you want to do is try to get the ball out to the 10 or the 15 so you're not punting in your end zone.
Going to keep it on the ground out of the end zone. He makes it to the 1-yard line, falls back into the end zone, but they won't give him credit for that. And that was Chancellor Sparks there on the run. Check that. That was
4th down and long for Ramsey.
good tackle there made by Hall.
Boy, that's mighty close to being a safety.
Very close.
Mighty close. That was Jeremiah Hall, my bad. Now, they've had trouble punting. Ramsey's had trouble punting, and what you got to do is you got to make sure you don't step back and step out on that white line there. You don't want to give them a safety.
And that was a young running back, Matthew McKinney, that was in on that one. Keebler kicks it.
Straight up.
And this is not going to take it finally does take a Ram bounce out to about the 24-yard line before it's down. Great field position now for Parker.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Parker has been like a farmer out to pick his crop. I mean, it's already ready to harvest, and they've been in that red zone or close to that red zone on probably 4 or 5 possessions today. Boy, I'm telling you, Connor McGavin is going to be, boy, he's going to be checking his phone, his calls down here in the red zone, because you got to score. You got to score when you get inside this red zone.
They're about 5 yards away from getting into that Windows World red zone. They're right at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, but James, they've been knocking on that door all night.
Yes, they have. Gaines goes nowhere fast, and James Reynolds right there to wrap him up.
Good job by James Reynolds, boy. He just comes right over the center, plugs up that A gap, and there's no running room. Lose about 2 yards there.
Seems though the offensive line after the first half, they have really struggled a little bit to try to get things going for the running game of the Thundering Herd.
It hadn't been good. It hadn't been good. I promise you that Frank and his coaching staff are not going to be happy about what they've seen in the second half of the offensive line.
Reese throwing for the end zone, catch made. Another People's Bank of Alabama touchdown for the Thundering Herd. Reception made by Jacoby Quakes.
Good job going up and getting the ball. And there was a safety coming over, and all he had to do was jump in there and knock it down and watch Quakes take it away. Look at that throw. See, the safety just didn't. You got to make that play. You got to make that play, guys.
Quakes gets the score, makes it 33-12.
Yep. That was Marcus Montgomery, too. And Marcus is one of the guys that he's one of their bell cows. And Marcus has got to go up and get that ball, knock it down. Don't let Quates go up and beat you for it.
And for Reese, he gets another touchdown pass. He's already had a run. So good night for this young man in his first start for the Thundering Herd of A.H. Parker.
You know, Jacoby Quates, early in the game, they had 2 third-down possessions, third and less than 10, and they went to Quates every time on a quick out. Made big catches there, and now he makes a good catch for a touchdown here at the fourth quarter.
Quadarius Sterling on for the point after attempt for A.H. Parker. And this is up and good, makes it through. And for Reese and the rest of his crew, going through the air, help them get back on the scoreboard as now 34-12. We'll be right back with more fourth quarter. Stay tuned. Parker has been consistent, not necessarily their most effective, but consistent tonight. 34-12 is your score. James Red along with Rick Cleveland here at the Old Gray Lady Legion Field here for the start of the 2024 football season. Thursday night football. We're going to have a number of games on Friday, and then next week it'll be full tilt for everybody, as a lot of teams will take the field as the Shops of Grand River kick off. Remember, save even more at Birmingham's only outlet center, the Shops of Grand River. Sterling to do the kickoff from the Thundering Herd. He'll kick this one deep. It is returnable for the Rams at their own 11. Trying to find some room, they do, and it gets knocked down and brought down. Good tackle there made by Talton Thomas.
Boy, Deuce Alexander does a good job on those kickoff returns. You notice how he tries to get into that pocket and then find a gap, and he did a good job there finding a gap. You see mostly what we've seen from them most of the time is just run it where it's kicked. If it's kicked to the sideline, they go to the sideline. Parker, on the other hand, on the 2 occasions that they've had kickoff returns, they tried to get it to the far sideline from whichever side it was kicked to. So you see a lot of work done by special teams coaches.
8:04 left here in regulation, and if you're Keenan, you want to try to get something started for the Rams and see if you can try to cut into this lead. Anything can happen here in high school football.
Well, the thing that Ronnie Jackson wants to do is he just wants his team to get better. Well, that's a big-time tackle right there.
Wow, good field tackle there. Once again, Talton Thomas has made a name for himself from that weak side linebacker, playing up, finding the receiver, making a play.
Boy, you see how he comes up and squares his shoulders and goes face-to-face with him, tackles him high, takes him to the ground. That's fundamentally as sound as it could be.
Second down, keeping it on the ground. And Martin gets a lot of those negative yards back. Naeem Alford able to make the tackle to stop Martin.
Just a straight dive right up the gut. Boy, I'm going to tell you, Martin did a great job. See how deep he is. He's about 8 yards deep, so that gives him time to see the block. There he goes.
And this time he can't get out of the arms of Agent Zero, Jordan Crawford. And Jordan is really, he's too big for Agent Zero's jersey, and they just had to make it work for him because he's ripping people up and ripping out of his jersey.
You like that Agent Zero, don't you,
Yes,
Pat?
and that's just, look at that jersey. Now, you know they had another smaller guy wanted Zero, and Jordan went up there and said, I want Zero. And what is a small guy to do?
They're giving him a break now, too.
Yes. We're going to have to get, you know, the seamstress in there to help him with his jersey. He even saying, my jersey, coach.
Well, they put a pretty good one in there to take his place. I can tell you right now, that's Jeremiah Hall. Yeah.
And just like that, Mr. Hall comes in and says, well, if you didn't like him, you're not going to like me either.
Yeah, that's, you know, defensively, defensive coaches call that a smother.
Yes.
You know, offensive linemen, when they knock a defensive lineman down, it's a pancake. Something like that happens, defensive lineman tackle it.
See, they kept his weight from when he was a freshman. I don't think he's 170.
Jeremiah's not real tall now, I'm going to tell you.
But
right
if he's
now.
170, I got to be 300. Third down and long. Rams trying to cut into this lead. Keenan gets free, finds a receiver. Oh, and he just slides out of bounds. Just couldn't keep his feet as Matthew Keebler, who has also done all of the punting tonight for the Rams.
Let me tell you, he's the fastest kid on this team, too. If you saw his route that time, he ran a little circle route. Quarterback gets in trouble. What does Keebler do? He runs right back toward the quarterback so the quarterback can see his numbers, and that way Keenan is able to throw it right there to Keebler because he sees his numbers. That's a great route and a great comeback by Matthew Keebler.
Alabama 8-1-1. Remember to call before you dig, and it seems as though Coach Jackson and the Rams call a timeout before the play starts. And we'll take a timeout with them when we come back. The last 5 minutes of play, Parker has this game at hand, but can the Rams make some more noise? Stay tuned. Frank Warren and the Parker Thundering Herd with a 34-12 lead here in the fourth quarter. Drummond Company Friday Night Rivals presented by Mesrano Law Firm. James Verrett along with Rick Cleveland. And now fourth down. Looks like they're going to go for it. Cameron Keenan still in at quarterback. And they need to get close to the midfield for a first throw. And this one incomplete. They'll turn it over on downs. Intended for Keeper.
Well, see, Keenan got in trouble. Had to break, you know, he had to break outside, had to get outside of the protection. Receiver ran the route about halfway to the first down, and even if he caught the pass, it would have still been a turnover on down. So, you know, that's the thing, young guys. Coaches are going to constantly tell you, run the route long enough to cover the first down, especially on third down, and always on fourth down. So.
As they say, that's why you practice, huh?
That's right. And they, you know, both of these teams are well coached. I mean, all you got to do is look at their what they've done in the past. And what Ronnie Jackson and that staff have done. He's got 8 new coaches that he has, and really one just left and went to Hoover.
Correct.
And talking about a Trent Richardson, that's a tough loss. But I guarantee you, Ronnie Jackson's team will be fine as they go on this year.
Dylan Reese in good field position inside the 40. Quick throw. Ball was tipped, and looks like this will be an incomplete pass because it was floating in the air, and Jelks was unable to bring it in time as he was hit from behind and smacked down by Marlon Tall.
Now people might want to know, why are you throwing the ball? You're up by what, 22 points? And, run the clock, get your kids off the field, take the win the way it is.
Good tip there by Chase Holt, the sophomore defensive lineman. But they're still working on their game.
Yeah.
That's what they're still trying to do. They're still working on it. And Kajon Greg Lamb makes that reception, already has a touchdown catch tonight.
And that was a heck of a catch. I'm going to tell you, that was thrown outside him. He left his feet, goes up and catches the ball with 2 hands. That's a great catch by Lamb.
Makes it 3rd.
Lamb, just a junior, has another year to go with Parker.
Got a bunch of young offensive linemen in there too, so he's playing a lot of different players.
Reese with some time.
Oh, goodness
and
gracious.
Going into and he just missed the intended receiver.
That's
just
incomplete
overthrows
in the
him.
end zone.
Jacoby Quates right there.
Quates tried to change directions. He had him open, though. He had him open. So now,
4th down, Thunder Herd.
Yeah, that's Dylan Reese.
Just overthrows.
Boy, he sure had him open, didn't he? Just a flat vertical route by the receiver, and boy.
4th down, they're going to go for it. Looking, can't find anybody, has some room to run and runs out of bounds. All depends on the spot. He may be close to the 1st down. We got to see if he's going to make it.
Yeah, he's right on it. He's right on it. Good job by Reese.
And he does make it, and that's a good coach's call, an ACT Equipment coach's call. Remember, ACT Equipment is the premier dealer for parts, services, and sales of new and used equipment locally owned and operated. We serve Central Alabama. We will provide free pickup and delivery for all equipment sales and services within a 30-mile of our location in Aniana. Act now, 205-379-8292, or visit actequipment.net for more details. And the detail right now is a good strong run by Terrence Gaines as they get into the Window World red zone down to about the 14 or 16-yard line.
Well, that's a good run right there. Made a great cut. Good vision. They're just trying to just be patient and run the clock out here. See if we just keep running the football.
Less than 5 minutes to play. Giving it to Gaines. No, pass. Incomplete. And intended for Taylor, and they just couldn't find Clarence Taylor.
Boy, that's in his release, James. And you know, old baseball player, you know. That ball, you got to release it up at the top. He's releasing it down by his ear, and the ball is sailing on him. And that's something coaches will see in film. And they'll work on that. He's going to have to make those passes to these wide open receivers as the season goes on, though. Those are mistakes that you can't have as the season gets tougher and tougher.
2nd and 10. Reese going to keep it. Eludes one defender, has some room to run. 10-5 touchdown.
Into the end zone.
Another People's Bank of Alabama touchdown. Dylan Reese with the score.
That's a great stalk block down there. You see the receiver down there that was blocking, and let me get his number. I want to say it's number 11. What's Clarence Taylor? Watch him down here. He's down here in the corner. He's making a great stalk block. He maintained on that defensive back. He couldn't come up because Taylor stayed right in front of him. Good job.
Sterling will attempt the extra point.
Great job there by Dylan Reese, his first game with the Thundering Herd of A.H. Parker. Sterling on to do the kick for the Thundering Herd. And this one is in, and it's good.
Parker 41.
And our Whataburger player of the game is none other than number 9, Dylan Reese. Congratulations to Dylan Reese, our Whataburger player of the game. And he had a great night tonight.
He sure did. Running the football, he's been almost perfect. And, you know, some of his passes have been a little off, but boy, he has certainly run the football when he's had pressure. And I'll tell you something else, when they've broken protection, he's thrown touchdown passes to receivers that are running wide open. So there's a lot to be said for the game that he's had tonight. Congratulations.
Great job by Dylan Reese. 14 of 28, 133 yards and 2 touchdown passes. And he's also had an opportunity to run 4 rushes for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Great job for the young man in his first opportunity to put on the purple.
You know, as you look down the road for Parker, they're going to be playing some good football teams, and I'm going to tell you, you better be prepared.
Yes.
For a lot of stuff when you play Parker. You just better, because defensively they're as solid as any team will be on anybody's schedule, and offensively they have the capability of scoring at any time. I mean, they just, Quates is an outstanding receiver. You know, and you got Jelks out there, and Kentrell Davis, and Clarence Taylor. I mean, they got a lot of weapons, and 2 good running backs in Gaines and Sparks. And then you add the dimension of Dylan Reese running the football. They're mighty good offensively, but I'm going to tell you, they're mighty good defensively as well.
And looks like we've got some, they're asking all the players to get down.
Boy, oh boy.
And looks like on the Ramsey side, they cleared the stands rather quickly. And both teams' players have gotten down on the ground, and now they're getting up. But not exactly sure what happened. But we do know that the players and coaches were told to get on the ground. And it looks like all the players are safe. And we do know that the Birmingham officials and Birmingham City Police are here. And you can see Ronnie Jackson right there like, you know, I'm a little too old for this, coach. Give me up here. And I think the police may have told him it may have been firecrackers or something like that. Who knows? But now the fans are coming back.
It's Connor McGavin. Got his wife and child.
Asking everyone to please remain calm.
Now, from our vantage point and from our booth, we really didn't hear anything. We just saw people moving rather quickly.
Sterling will kick off for the Thundering Herd.
And now we're back to play here with our Shops of Grand River kickoff. And that is a touchback.
That's the best kickoff coverage there is. Kick it in the end zone. You don't have to worry about any coverage. That's what every coach hopes, is you got a kicker to kick it in the end zone.
So now our quarterback, Keenan, Cameron Keenan, will have to take over now in the last 4 minutes.
It's the play of the game, right?
And now we're ready to get back started playing. Ball at the 20-yard line. Low snap.
Another low snap.
And that one is incomplete.
He had Bryce wide open right there in the middle of the field.
And our Whataburger, Water player of the game. Nice pass by Reese. And And he finds a receiver in the end zone. Clarence Taylor with the touchdown reception. Our Whataburger play of the game.
That's a great throw right there from Reese. And, boy, I'm going to tell you, he's right on target when he's out of the pocket. And that's tough to do.
Great job by Reese and Taylor. Our Whataburger, what a play of the game. Second down now and 10. Flare pass out to Martin. And wow, he gets hit and pays the price. Good open field tackle there by Talton Thomas. If we had a defensive player of the game, I think Thomas may be right up there because he's been playing a great game today.
Boy, you're right. He's kept containment. When he's had plays coming at him, he's made great tackles. And he tackles exactly the way he's taught to tackle. Watch how he tackles up the top.
3rd and 9.
And he takes the player to the ground, gets up, and goes back to the huddle.
I think maybe they need to cut those plays together and show some kids who don't know how to tackle right and just say, just do what he's doing.
That's a great idea. And that's something that coaches probably do need to do.
Less than 4 minutes to play, trying to bubble screen. They get it out. Has some room to run, but not a whole bunch.
Inside the 30-yard line.
And that was their young sophomore, Matthew McKinney.
And Keyshawn Johnson made a heck of a play on that too. Boy, he just knocked him down before he got to the first down.
Yes.
Mark, and that screen was set up perfectly because they sent backers, and all 3 of those defensive linemen were in the quarterback's face. So that's a good call. Good call by the offensive coordinator over there for Ramsey.
They wave the flag off, 4th down and short. Clock is continuing to run, or will it run? No, it's not. It's going to run at the snap. And we've got a little movement that'll push them back about 5 yards.
Flag on the play.
I think it may have been encroachment by the defense.
Offside against Parker.
Yeah, I think it was encroachment.
That'll give them a first down and move the chains for Ramsey.
Yeah.
From the
That was
33-yard
Robert
line,
Taylor,
1st and 10 Ramsey.
big defensive end.
And he's just a sophomore, so that may be one of those sophomore mistakes.
Well, you know, those defensive linemen are taught, don't you ever move until that ball moves. That ball's got to move, and that's when you move.
Defense is penetrating, and now Keenan's got to throw it. And incomplete, almost intercepted. Touched the hands of the defender, but it does not go his way. And he was right there. Quincy Crawford could have gotten an interception and put this game on ice.
It's a tough job right there. Quarterback had a lot of pressure on him that time. Keenan rolling to his left and just overthrew his receiver's receiver was open down there. That's hard when you're rolling to your left and you're a right-handed quarterback, and it's hard to set your feet, square your shoulders, and throw it. And more times than not, you're going to overthrow the receiver.
No doubt. Makes a reception, and he gets hit at the line. Neiman offered, just showing that, hey, not only can I cover, but I can definitely make a tackle. Mitchell Orr there on the reception.
1-yard line. It's 3rd down.
Well, Alford, he's some kind of special player. It's hard to get anything by him. I like the way Keenan stood in there and made that pass. So he just had too much pressure on him all night. He's been running for his life a lot.
Making an offensive line change now.
I think what they're doing is they're bringing Johnson over here to be with Reese, and they may run it right over here. Now they're going to throw it again.
3rd down and short. Getting some pressure on the backside, and down goes Keenan.
In the backfield for it.
Great job by the defense. Making the play is Robert Taylor. Once again, that super sophomore making a dynamic play.
He's going to be something special because you see the way he's persistent. And boy, he continues to pursue when the ball's even away from him like that. He's full throttle. And
make sure you stay tuned to ABC 3340 Friday Night Blitz tonight at 10:15, even though it is Thursday night, but we're going to have Friday Night Blitz, and also tomorrow night, the official Friday Night Blitz at ABC 3340. Brought to you by Win South Credit Union.
It's a good punt.
Fair catch called, and they'll have it at their own 45. 1 minute, 21 seconds. Now we need to talk about the takeaways from this game. If you're Parker, you're happy with the win, but do you see a lot of work that can be done to improve?
Yeah, I think you see a lot of work in that offensive line too. And, you know, you got to be able to run the football to win in high school football. And they ran the ball well. As Gaines ran the ball well and Sparks ran the ball well equally. But the one who really ran the ball well was Dylan Reese.
Yes.
I mean, he was the guy that ran the ball in tough situations and made big plays for them. So I think there's got to be some improvement in the offensive line, and defensively, I'm going to tell you, they're salty in every area.
Keeping it on the ground.
See, James, Parker's got great players at all three levels. They got great players on the defensive line. They got three great players. I'm talking about great. I'm not talking about just good. I'm talking about great players that can run and hit you in the mouth. Then in the secondary, they can cover you. They can press cover you, or they can zone cover, and they're good. And that's, you know, that's not something you see every Friday night
That is
in
true.
high school football.
Darryl Sanders there on the carry. And we have other schools in the area that have some good, you know, perennial powerhouses like Thompson and Hoover, and you had Clay Chalkville, who defeated this Parker team last season. But this is a team that looks like they're making their mark at the right time. Good open field tackle there.
Well, we got a lot of
by Jordan Colley.
Got a lot of young kids playing right now, but you're right, and you got to throw Robert Evans and Vestavia Hills in there. That's a team that a lot of people are not talking about. But I can tell you right now, that's a pretty salty team. Robert Evans has got a great staff, and they'll do a great job over there.
And you'll see him tomorrow as they take on Carver Montgomery, the new Carver Montgomery, with the merger of Sidney Lanier.
Yeah, Bobby Carr's got about 15 or 16 of these big-time players on that roster. So you'll have fun calling that game, I can promise you.
And we hit 000, final score 41-12 in favor of A.H. Parker. Stay tuned, we'll wrap it up. The Drummond Company Friday Night Rivals presented by Masrano Law Firm. We'll come back and wrap it up as the Thundering Herd get their first victory of the season.